the dial, turn it loud. Miami's pride, make us proud. CanesWear crew, you hear the crowd. Hurricanes ain't backing down. Every play, every score, raising bets and raising roar. Rocking orange, green galore. All for one and one for four. We got FTSN, taking names, winning again. Podcast fam, till the end. Tune in, now let's begin.
All right. Welcome to the CanesWear Podcast. I don't know if I can see myself about 5 seconds late, so tell me if everybody else can see me with my voice 5 seconds late. Also, Gio. But welcome to the CanesWear Podcast. Today is Wednesday, August 13th. We're 8 days from Brett's birthday, but who's counting? We are 18 days from the season. Lots of exciting things going on right now, and it's getting ready. Gio, we are getting pumped for the season. 18 days from Notre Dame. I know everybody's excited. We've got several people that beat us on the show today. Jacoby, Juan Manuel, Hassan. They were on the show before us. Juan Manuel with the Cuban time is the standard time. I've actually had that as well in my life. So it's the same. So anyway, always running a few minutes late. We are here, guys. Blue, welcome to the show. Thanks for jumping in. You were actually the first guy on there. Thank you so much. And I am lucky to have the amazing, the spectacular, the fantastic one himself. Gio is with me today. Gio, before I say that, Gio, I'm a little hyper, too much coffee today. But FTSN Network, Bobby and the guys, like and subscribe. They do a great job, like all their programs. Remember, this podcast is by CanesWear, The Spot, Miami and South Florida fan shop. All right, Gio, it's an exciting time, 18 days away, like I said. Are you feeling pumped?
Yeah, I'm actually wearing a Miami shirt today, so I think everyone could tell that it's right around the season. Usually I'm not wearing gear that often. I'm just wearing my usual, what I call a uniform. I got my black polos. I got about people have always asked me, they say man, how many of those do you have? I literally have 5 sets of black polos just specifically for going to events or media functions and whatnot. I just like to keep it plain and simple when I go out there, not worry about what I'm putting on, just get ready to go. But yeah, you're right on point. 18 days away until the season begins at Hard Rock Stadium between Miami and Notre Dame. Notre Dame coming in inside the top 5 in the coaches poll. They came in at number 6 in the AP poll. Miami doubling at number 10 between the AP and coaches poll. Miami's opened the season now top 10 for the first time since the 2018 season. I know people may not like to hear that part because the last time Miami opened a season top 10, they played LSU in the Cowboys Stadium, and that didn't go too hot. So I know before people start throwing the tomatoes at me, just a little reminder on that. But very different coach, very different times now. And by the way, happy early birthday, Brett. So by midnight tonight, it'll be a week away from your birthday.
Exactly. It's when you get to be my age, Gio, you're just happy to be around for your birthday. I may look 21, but I'm a few years older.
I had a question come in here for me personally. Jonathan Crumbly said, "Is your nose pierced, Gio?" I'd never noticed that before. It actually is. Not many people really notice until they talk to me up close. They're like, "Wait a minute, you got a nose piercing?" But yeah, that I got that done many, many, many years ago. You probably can't see it on the camera unless I
Hard to see it. How did he pick that up? I mean, I can barely see that.
I don't know how he did it, but he's got a good eye.
Excellent eye. Good call there, Jonathan. He may need to be a spotter for the Canes. So it's, so it's good times. We're 18 days. The Canes, the first time in, is it 2018? That we're 7 years that we're in the top 10. Pretty amazing. All the people that are down on the Canes and we've got nothing. We lost Cam Ward. We've lost everybody. Obviously, nationally, they think we're better than that. And that's a good thing because when you're ranked number 10, it helps you later on in the polls because it's where you start, it seems. I know it's not where you start, it's where you finish, but it helps you a lot when you start higher in the polls. If Of course, we're not going to lose a game this year, but if a team is to lose, it's better to lose if you're the beginning of the season at the 10th spot than you are not rated at all. Wouldn't you agree?
No, I agree with you 100%. I'll put it to you this way. So you could tell that the season's almost here when media is not allowed much at practice now. This week it's been very Fort Knox going on down there on Santa Mara Drive. No media allowed in the building right now. The only thing we got was one interview session with defensive linemen this week, and that wasn't even in person. So it's definitely almost that time. Usually this is what happens every fall camp. You get a couple of nice weeks of seeing things early on, then installs continue on in practice. Coaches are getting the players prepared and whatnot, certain things they don't want to show or give away. So it's definitely high time right now. It's right around the corner. It's right around the corner. And that week is going to be so filled with festivities. I mean, I got an event with Michael Yo that we're going to be doing a show for, I think, like almost an hour and a half on August 29th at the Fort Lauderdale Improv. Alex Dono is actually joining us out there too. It's going to be the three of us do a show from out there. Everyone is welcome to come. I'm going to send out the RSVP link on my X later tonight or in the morning. I already have the link for that. People have to RSVP to get in beforehand and whatnot. I know some former Canes are planning to show up. I know some other big people in media are going to show up too. So it's going to be a nice event. And then just there's the other ones going on too. There's a nice private lunch I'm going to head out to on Saturday with a bunch of alumni. Just so much going on that week.
That's going to be definitely a fantastic week. It's Labor Day weekend, which is great. You said the thing at it's at the Improv. Where is that exactly again? It's at the
that's Dania.
The Dania Improv. Yeah, I saw Shannon Crowder do his stand-up routine, which was really good. But that is a great crowd. You get out there; it's a great place to watch. They've got food, drinks, and everything like that. It's awesome.
But by the way, everyone, it's free.
How are you doing that? It's free. It's absolutely free. But do they have to have tickets, you said?
Yeah, so it's free to get in for what we're doing. And then Michael Yo is going to have his stand-up show shortly after that. So if people want to get tickets to that, feel free to do so and whatnot. But I plan to stick around for the show too. He's hilarious if anyone's ever seen his stand-up skits. But yeah, it's just going to be a really fun week. It's almost here.
How are they going to kick people out that don't have tickets? Well, then we'll worry about that at the time.
I guess they'll have to worry about it afterwards. But
luckily, I'll be working that night because it'll be crazy in the store. That's Friday night, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, gladly, it's a Sunday game, so people get a little extra time. So that's exciting. This feels like the build up here. It's not like it's like a bowl game. Or a college football playoff game, which I know we've never known as a Canes fan, but unfortunately, it's the buildup is exciting right now, and this is going to be number 6 and number 10. We are still underdogs in this game by 3 points or so, correct?
The last time I checked the line, I saw on one of the places where you could place the bets, it was about 2.5. So yeah.
All right, so it's going down a little bit. So I'm on a reception.
Well, I know the total for points, it went down. I think it was was it 47 before? I think it went down to 40, or was it 57 went down to 50? I think it was 57 and then went down to 50 recently.
All right, so yeah, I did see that. Did you announce that?
No,
you did, or someone did.
I didn't.
Maybe it was Mando. Somebody did.
Yeah, it was someone else.
It was someone else. So, all right. So I'm going to read some questions. My computer, for whatever reason, is a little slow today. I think I'm a little bit on. But let's see. I don't want you to have to do double, but let me see what I can do here. I did Zach with the Happy National Filet Mignon Day. I did not know that. I did have hot dogs for dinner, but not filet mignon. So I just missed on the beef there. Just missed hot dogs or filet mignon. Let's see what we got. Finns Talk Sports. No, okay. It's what's the first question you got, Gio? I'm having some technical difficulties.
Don't worry, I'll take it from here. So let's see. Jacoby son, Zach Minger. Thank you, Zach. Happy National Filet Mignon Day. Yes, you're right. Let's get here. Hold on, we're almost caught up. Answered the nose piercing thing. Trey Moore said, was Jimmy at practice today? Jimmy Johnson. Honestly, I would not know. I know they're going to have an evening practice tomorrow, but I would not know from today if Jimmy Johnson was there. I'll be honest with you. Bob Leach, the Dark Wolf, shares here. Yay, my first live. Thank you for showing up live. I know it's difficult for people sometimes to show up for like a live show. That's why they always get recorded. You can go back and watch later, but thank you for the support, Bob. Oh, snap, it's Mikey said, checking in from Montana. We're nationwide. Yes, the K brand is all over. It's a national brand. It really is.
We have a lot of people. We have a lot of people from all over the country come to the store. A lot of people from Canada, Europe. I mean, so many Canes fans everywhere. It's hard to go anywhere and not wear a Canes shirt and someone doesn't throw up the U. I mean, I don't care what state you're in. I mean, you wear the Canes shirt, someone's throwing up the U. It's hard to go.
You either get someone throwing up the U, or you get a fan of another team just trying to trash talk us.
Exactly. But people, if they're from South Florida, even if they're not a Canes fan, they're excited to see somebody from back home. But I agree. You never know. The Canes, obviously, like Notre Dame or so, the people who love us or hate us.
Yep. So Bob Leach also shared here, hit that like button. Yes, like, share, and subscribe to the show. Jonathan Crumbly throwing a U up there. Yeah, go Canes. Oh, snap, it's Mikey. If you're a Cane fan and you aren't hyped to watch this team, then, oh, Lord, you need to recalibrate your fandom. Yeah, how could you not be excited with that opening home game slate? You got Notre Dame to open it up and Florida to close out that September stretch of home games, the first 4 games at Hard Rock Stadium. That's a nice slate to open up the season. You also got USF before Florida. And then you get the bye week. And then the following week after that, you got Florida State up in Tallahassee. Some nice matchups early on in the season. Steve Slay said, we got some Canes over here. Yes, we do. Jonathan Crumbly said, every time Gio moves, it blings. Yeah, so he was talking about my piercing. I didn't even notice that. I guess he, like you said, Brett, he should be a spotter for the team or something.
Yeah, that is hard. I'm looking for it and looking for it.
He should be like Connor Stallions, how he was for Michigan, how he was getting all the signs from the other teams. Because if he could spot that, he could spot anything.
Absolutely. That was phenomenal. You're right. He could be out there in the Houston Astros or somewhere in the outfield. All right. Yes, I was actually a Houston fan there, even when that was going on.
It's Mikey shares here. This is a team with a chip on their shoulder after getting snubbed. Yeah, they got something to prove this year. You know, they fell short of the mark last year with the not making it to the ACC game. They wanted to be in the playoff. You could make the argument that they should have been a playoff team, but new year, new chance.
All I want to hear at the end of the year is Canes fans saying, I can't believe it. We wasted Cam Ward's year, but we were able to do it with Carson Beck. Unbelievable. And a lot of people think we can never win again because we couldn't win with Cam Ward. I try to explain to them, we had 5 other quarterbacks that won national championships that were probably not as good as Cam Ward. And we still were able to win. And we probably could have won about 8 of them. So it doesn't only matter who's behind center. It matters the whole team. And if you have a porous defense, it's not going to happen pretty much no matter who you have a quarterback. And this year, hopefully, what are we hearing on Heatherman and Corey Heatherman in the defense, Gio?
That defensive line is nothing to mess around with. They have some young guys that are really, really starting to hit their stride now as camp. It's basically, we're at like almost the halfway point of camp right now. Armando Blunt, Marquise Lightfoot, Justin Scott, those 3 in particular, they have made a jump from last year. Last year, they played in some spots, especially Scott. Those 3 guys are ready to really contribute this year. Scott's going to be the starter. He's going to be the starter on defense at defense tackle. Actually, to be honest with you, with everyone listening right now, he's actually taking the most first-team reps of any of the defensive tackles. He's really ready to make that next step. Armando Blunt and Marquise Lightfoot, both of those guys, even though they may not start on a paper because of Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor, they get starter quality snaps, whether it's in the scrimmages, practice. They're constantly getting reps with the ones. Marquise Lightfoot really stands out as a speed rusher. He's capable of dropping back into coverage too. He's really excelled at that throughout camp. I know when people hear that, they say, "Oh, why are we dropping a defensive end back into coverage?" But sometimes you do have to do that. You have to kind of drop them back into the flats, or just even through seam as well, short seam. But with Blunt, like I've mentioned before, violent, powerful pass rusher, plays really good against the run as well. He's really starting to hit his stride now. In particular, he's had a really, really nice couple of weeks of practice.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people seem to be down on our defensive tackles protecting against the run. A lot of people have said we're going to find out right away how good it is, but I don't know why people are down on the DTs. I think that whole defensive line is going to be awesome across the board.
Yeah, no, I think they have
as well.
I think they have a lot of talent on that defensive line, particularly even pass rushers. Like, I didn't even mention a guy like Hayden Lowe. Like, he's gotten quite a bit of reps with the second team as well throughout camp. He's going to factor in this year too. Actually, you could say progressively throughout the season, he's probably going to make his way onto the field more. It's going to be hard for them to keep him off the field. But I will say, though, I like Miami's starting group. Your likely starters will be like Mesidor, Bain, Scott, Moten, and then your rotational pieces that will wrap around that. You'll have guys like David Blay, Armando Blunt, who could play outside and inside, just like Mesidor and Bain. They both do the same as well. My concern is defensive tackle depth, like I've said consistently. Yes, it's nice that Dante Simpson is a bit ahead of the curve for what you expect for a freshman defensive tackle, but I still think things get a little murky after Miami's top three options at defensive tackle. You're going to see a lot of Armando Blunt shifting inside, Ruben Bain, Akeem Mesidor, even Hayden Lowe is going to do some of that as well. They're going to try to mix it up a bit. I think they have to, considering what the depth is going into the season. I just don't see many viable options after those three true defensive tackle options. Like, it's just gets very murky, questionable. I've brought it up over and over again when people ask me, what do you see as an Achilles heel to the team? I think it's that defensive tackle depth.
The defensive tackle is, you think that is even more so than the defensive backs?
Yeah, I'm not concerned about the cornerbacks. I'm actually more bullish on the safeties with the emergence of Bryce Fitzgerald in camp. He's really making a case to be in the rotation this year. I don't know if he'll start, but he's definitely going to play. Dylan Day has improved a lot in terms of his coverage. Zachariah Porter is very solid and steady. I think the biggest talk I'll mention, just ever since pads have come on, Jacoby Thomas has really stood out as a physical presence. And I've said this a few times now, but I'll mention again, I think there's a bit more there in terms of his coverage ability than people were initially anticipating. So I feel pretty good about Miami's safety situation. Do I think it's elite? Maybe not there yet, but I think they got a solid group there. So I'm fine with what Miami has at defensive back. I think they have a very strong cornerback room this year, which is a stark contrast from last season. Just, again, defensive tackle depth.
All right, awesome stuff. Somebody asked, what color are the jerseys going to be? I have not heard, but I'm guessing they're going to be orange for this game, which is usually
it'll probably be the orange and white combo.
Yeah. Yes, I'd say that's going to be the case for us. Notre Dame will probably wear white or green. I'm not even sure, but I'm guessing they're going to wear white. But you never know. But whatever we're wearing, that is one of the questions we're asked all the time, and I love it at the store because then, if you're wearing orange, people want to buy orange. If you're wearing green, they want to buy green, and white, black, whatever it is. So thankfully, people like to wear new items. But the point is that the jersey color is important, but in the end, it's just about winning. It's winning. People say, I want to wear Nike. I want to wear Adidas. I don't care if they're wearing Fruit of the Loom, Gio. As long as winning is everything.
Speaking about Adidas, Brett, you saw the deal that went down that Tennessee went back to Adidas, and instead of getting $5 million a year from the brand they were with before, now them going back to Adidas, they sweetened the deal with them. They're going to be one of their top teams. They're going to get $20 million a year just for wearing Adidas apparel.
That's amazing because the Canes are only getting about $8 million. They're getting $96 million for a 12-year contract, but it was written 10 years ago.
Exactly.
So Adidas, supposedly, they don't have the NFL. They used to have it when they were Reebok. They don't have the NHL anymore. They've only got the MLS, and they have college teams and individual players. So I keep on hearing they're going to do everything they can to sign Miami. I know a lot of people don't like Adidas. They love Nike, but all I heard from the players when we went to Adidas is they were always, their gloves were ripped. They had nothing from Adidas. Nike didn't even care about them. There were no camps like there are now, the Paradise Camp. There were none of those things. Adidas was taking care of them. They didn't have ripped shoes. They didn't have they have all the equipment they want. I like Adidas personally, but I do understand that people want Jordan and Nike and things like that. But it's all about winning. That's all you care about. Win, win, win. Like
I'll be honest with you. If Miami were to go back to Nike, I don't want to entertain this too much because I know I'm speaking from someone within athletic development about this over the past year, that Miami's actually very happy and content with what they're getting from Adidas. And even when that deal comes to its end, like they are expecting a significant increase in terms of compensation for wearing the apparel and basically showing it off. That they're happy with it. But I think if they were to make any type of move, I know it's still like the same type of sister brother type of company between Nike and Jordan. But if Miami did make a move, give me Jordan. Give me the Jordan brand.
Jordan would be it. I think Jordan would be it if they did make the move. That's what the Gators have, Jordan, right?
Yeah.
And obviously Jordan's North Carolina was the home base there. Is North Carolina wearing Jordan? I'm pretty sure they are, correct?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So it's, but whatever they wear, like I said, but we'll see. The contract is up soon. It's, we started carrying Adidas in 2014 when we started in our plaza, and it's going to 2026. So we'll see what happens. So we'll see what uniform. We believe it's orange. So buy orange, and if it's not, it'll be orange one of those first few games. What else we got here, Gio? I can get a little thing.
Get ready, boys. Gio and Brett, good evening, gentlemen. Gio, do nose piercings help you breathe better with an extra hole in the nose? One Manuel is funny. I don't know about that. I can't really answer that. I don't think so, at least from my experience. I've had it for how many years? Probably like 10 years now. So
really? Wow. Gio's a while. There you go.
New King God says here, update on Dalen Russell. How much do you think he'll play? He'll be somewhere there in the rotation. I just think the way that pecking order kind of falls right now with the feedback that I've gotten, it's kind of like Justin Scott, Mod Moten, David Blay. David Blay does get some reps still with the first team as well. It's like a nose tackle type that they have in their wide body defensive tackle. Dante Simpson, and then I would say Dalen Russell. I know Artavis Jones has been a little nicked up throughout camp. So let's see here. Adrian, Rainy Day Pod. What's up, fellas? What's up, Adrian? Thank you for stopping by, showing support and love. New King God says, how do you feel about our D-line versus Notre Dame's O-line? I feel good about it, especially that Notre Dame's missing a starter. I think Miami has enough pass rushers to constantly throw at Notre Dame to like keep them honest, and I think they will be able to get pressure. Now, again, stopping the run is a whole other thing. I think they can get to the quarterback for sure, but still got to see it in a game setting. I will say this though, from the feedback that I've gotten out of practice and the scrimmage, the run defense appears improved. The reason why I say appears is because it's so early into camp. You still got another scrimmage this weekend, and then next week they'll begin with game prep. But so far so good. Not many long runs have been given up to this point. They've kind of kept things in check. So I think you could attribute that to some with the improvements made at linebacker, and then defensive line they look great. I would say you can make the argument between the defensive ends or the cornerbacks being the strongest units on the defense.
Wow. The cornerbacks have come a long way.
Oh, snap. It's Mikey said, can you tune in live somewhere? Are you talking about the show that I'm going to do with Michael Yo and Alex Dono on the 29th? I'm going to see if we can make that happen. I know for sure it's going to be recorded. That is without a doubt. But I'll see if we can go live or not, depending on what the setup is like over there. Adrian Rainy Day Pod. Michael Yo is funny as hell. Yes, he is. Michael Yo is an absolute trip. You guys could literally Google him on YouTube, and you could find like hundreds of videos from his stand-up comedy sets. 863 Kane reposted the stream. Thank you, 863 Kane, for the love and support. Juan Manuel Gio, what do you think of linebacker wide receiver room as of today compared to spring? I think both rooms look better than they did in spring, and I'll tell you my reasoning why. Linebacker number one, you have Mohamed Toure, who's in there now, who's looked really good throughout camp. Really excels as a pass rusher type as well. Chase Smith, as healthy as he's ever been in his career. Brett, you've mentioned this before about like Elijah Arroyo, that Elijah Arroyo had a bad string of injuries and finally got himself healthy last year. The stars aligned with Cam Ward. He had a really big year. I'm not saying that Chase Smith's going to be like Elijah Arroyo type of impact, but he's definitely going to play quite a bit on this team. I know he fits in a lot of like passing down packages with the defense as well at linebacker. He's gotten quite a bit of reps with the first team too. Wesley Besaint is the biggest he's been since he's arrived here. Popo Aguirre has been singled out as well, very much for how he plays against run fits as well. Shoots the right gaps in this defense. Has been very consistent throughout camp. Kamal Bonner is a guy who plays really well downhill. They think he's someone that may start to hit his stride as the season goes along. And then Cam Pruitt also factors in there. All those guys that I mentioned, they're going to play this year at linebacker, but your likely starter is going to be Toure, Wesley Besaint, and then rotation after that, you'll get Popo, Pruitt, and Bonner in the mix there. I know Kellen Wiley's flashed a bit with his athleticism. I think he's someone potentially that as the season progresses, maybe he could find a role somewhere, but I think for sure he'll be on special teams right away. I'll be shocked if he's not. He'll make some form of an impact, but just again, linebacker looks better than it did in spring. Wide receiver, the reason why I say it looks better, number one, CJ Daniels, full participant in practice. I would make the case that he's been the most consistent of any of the receivers throughout camp. Ray Joseph's had a lot of good moments too. Malachi Toney has really come on strong within the past week, not just stuff that are people hearing out of the scrimmage. Even this week in practice, he's done really well from the feedback that I've got. Another guy, Keelan Marion, maybe he doesn't get a lot of like passes in this offense, but I will say from the perspective of getting the ball in a player's hands and allowing them to make a play, I think he really stands out in that factor. Everyone knows like the big elephant in the room that Josiah Trader's been nicked up since the early point in camp. I can't really say much on that. I know one thing that was shared to me that it shouldn't really affect him coming into the season. We'll see if that holds true or whatever the case may be. But and two more guys I want to highlight. Joshua Moore is definitely going to play. They will have certain packages for him this year. Out of anyone on the team, I would say him and CJ Daniels are great in terms of contested catch situations. You could probably throw Malachi Toney a bit in there too. And then just jump ball scenarios as well. Vertical threat too. You'd think for a kid that's 6'4", 215, you wouldn't think he'd be able to get down the field like that, but he can. He really can run and scoot, so he'll factor in. Dalen Upshaw, I know he's getting some looks in terms of special teams. He's even flashed a little bit at Z with a minor injury going on there with JoJo. So I don't know how much Upshaw will play this year, but I do know that they are anticipating him to be a guy for the future. Like maybe by next year, he may factor in more and be full on in that receiver rotation within a year from now. So that's just kind of the feedback that I've gotten on that. And then Alex Bowman, from the tight end room really stands out as a red zone threat. Elijah Lofton, everyone knows the type of weapon that he is, the Swiss Army knife type. And then Luka Gilbert is someone that's really come along strong in camp, just blocking perspective, but also as a receiver. You're talking about a guy that's 6'7", that creates a matchup nightmare for linebackers and safeties coming over the middle.
Gio, Mando's backstage. Can you let him on, or Bobby has to?
I think Bobby would have to. I could text Bobby really quick.
Yeah, I just did. See if you can text him too. So, all right. Let's see. Well, we get that Cleveland Cane. Thank you for reposting the stream. JoJo update. Gio, did you just give that already? The JoJo?
Yeah.
You already did. Okay, I missed that when I was doing that. Juan Manuel. Marcus Freeman, who I think is a fantastic coach, has to keep his forehead and hairline so adorable. Does it make the coach better? Ask Chris. Okay, let's see. It's basically
snap! It's Mikey shared here. Is Emory Williams wearing number 8 now? I heard that on CIF. Yeah, Emory is wearing number 8. He changed his number this offseason. His reasoning behind it is, it's a new, fresh start for him. He even got a new QB trainer over the offseason. We'll see if that helps him long term, but yeah, that is true. Jacoby Gregg said, "What color uniform can you see is wearing week 1?" We mentioned that earlier, orange and white. Let's see here. Snap! It's Mikey says here. That's amazing, huh? I love that for Big E. When is the game gonna update the rosters and get some of these young bucks in and fix the numbers? I think they're talking about the college football video game. That's going to be right before the season. Probably the next week or 2 weeks, they'll put out the next update.
All right. And we got Mando joined us. So Mando, how are you today? Can you hear us, Mando? Or everyone's a little bit on delay. At least I am.
No, all good. What's up, Brett, Gio? How's everybody doing out there?
Doing fantastic. I know today is the first day of school, correct? Or tomorrow's the first day of school in Dade County. So I know you're doing double duty work right now.
Yeah, that's why I got that door slightly ajar and looking. Tomorrow's going to be crazy.
Wait, Mando, so Dade County started later than Broward this year?
Yeah, well, I think it was like that last year. Broward started Monday, and I think some Miami-Dade private schools started Monday, Tuesday. Miami-Dade Public starts tomorrow on a Thursday, which is interesting to me. I'm not quite sure why that is, but they're starting tomorrow, yes. We were there today for the meet and greet this morning. The little ones met their teachers and stuff like that. So tomorrow I'll be getting up early, helping them out before I go to work in the middle of the day or whatnot. But yeah, it starts tomorrow on a Thursday. Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so weird. My oldest, he started school on Monday because we're up here in Broward.
Yeah, Monday is Broward. It's surprising. Thursday, as a kid, I'd love this. You have mixed emotions of starting on Thursday. You'd rather say, let's just wait till Monday. But at the same time, you say, hey, a 2-day week. I mean, that's the best thing in the world, the 2-day week.
I don't know if it's true, but they said that it has something to do with, in the past, they never used to give Thanksgiving week off. When I was in school, you wouldn't get the whole week off. Now they do. Right. So somebody told me it had something to do with that today at the school, they were saying.
I heard a couple of years ago, I think they did it as well. I thought they were just trying to make sure everything worked before the whole week, but who knows?
Could be.
There's plenty of days they miss.
I'll put it to you guys this way. One thing I remember when I was going to school, I haven't been, last time I was in high school, I was like 17. So talking about over 15 years ago at this point. So I recall when I was going to school, because I went to school in Dade and then partial of that in Broward when I was older. I remember school always starting like August 23rd, 24th, 25th.
Or Labor Day. Labor Day.
Like right after Labor Day. So it's so weird now seeing them go like in the middle of August. I don't know if they changed something with the schedule. Like, for example, I remember this, but ever since all the stuff came out with Christopher Columbus, we used to have that day off when we were going to school. Nowadays, it's not a holiday anymore.
Well, when I was in school, I can vividly remember middle to late June you were done. Now they give out the calendar this morning. The last day is like June 5th.
Yeah.
So,
used to be middle June, exactly. So I think that used to be we went to school 180 days. I don't know. Do they still go to school 180 days? Or is it like once we left school, it's like let's just make it 100 days now? we became the parents, and you want to go ahead and say, okay, now we need more school. Now it's like, school. What the heck is going on?
I mean, after a summer with these two little ones, I think me and the wife might do a Randall Thrill Hill dance when we drop them after we drop them off tomorrow.
Oh, totally. It's the way to have your schedule back again. Exactly.
No, I think I jumped on at a perfect time because I definitely wanted to touch upon it with Gio. Obviously, some of the folks are freaking out about the wide receiver position already, and we're in the chat, so we know how it is. So it was interesting to hear what he had to say about it because people are freaking out already. So. Par for the course, I guess. You know how it is.
Well, Mando, it's like I've been saying the same theme throughout the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Every time Kevin Beard has been a wide receiver coach at the University of Miami, his group has always produced. Like, I go back to what season was it? The 2023 season when TVD was still here. Everyone was like, oh, we had no receivers and this and that and blah, 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 blah. Xavier Restrepo, Jacoby George, and Kobe Young all step up that year. Yeah. Rashard Smith had moments that year too. So it's like this has already been a question before. Like, this is like old school college football, basically pre-portal. Some years you would go in and you'd have no clue until you'd get to the games. Like, who's going to step up? Who's going to be that guy? Like, no one, even at this point, like, I'll give an example. I mentioned the guy standing out in practice and how we have two freshmen in particular that are really going to factor in. You don't know what happens when the games come. There's guys that are literal demons in practice, and then game day comes and they just kind of freeze up. It's happened with other players in the past.
Of course, sure.
Until the bullets start flying, you really don't know.
Absolutely.
Some guys are going to do better. Some guys are going to do worse. Some guys will show up. Some guys won't. In all positions. I mean, so it's hard to gauge until they actually get into a real live fire of the game.
Yep. So, snap, it's Mikey said here. Gio usually knows all the inside info on the game. Yeah, I always get updates on it and whatnot. So that update that people are waiting on for the rosters and the number changes and then for them to add freshmen or players missing from the game, that you're probably looking at the next week or two that it'll be out. They usually have a cycle of, I remember this from last year. I believe it's on the same thing. It's like every X amount of weeks they drop an update for the game. So that'll be coming soon. New King God, after everything you're hearing about this defense, how do you feel now about Miami versus Notre Dame run game and Jeremiah Love? Again, like I mentioned earlier, defense hasn't given up much long runs in practice, and the scrimmage settings, but I still go down to what is that going to be like when you get to game day? Like, I think that's I don't think that could be answered right now just off the scrimmages. You know, you're going against your own team. Exactly. It's another thing when you have to game plan and going against an entirely different team, and you have to learn their tendencies and what they do. So still too early to say.
Yeah, it's not like it's not like the NFL where it seems like they're practicing against another team all the time. They've done that before, right? Practice against another squad, or no, they have not in college.
No, not yet.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Not yet, but they were proposing that. Deion Sanders was trying to push that with.
Yeah, that's right. Deion Sanders, they're trying to do it, but in the NFL now, they're always practicing. I mean, like for the Dolphins today, it's like all over. It's like the Dolphins look terrible against the Lions practicing. So it's not even an exhibition game. They look bad practicing against another team.
Well, I think the fear of doing it in college, the word was obviously you would have, coaches on one side trying to talk to players on the team and trying to bring them over to you. So they're like, yo, we're not doing that.
Come over here, kid. I got the van and the candy. Come on over here.
Believe it or not, it happens in games during the season.
Wow.
Oh, I bet it does. Absolutely.
So Juan Manuel shares here. Gio, I think Notre Dame will not be coming in with their best version of their team.
I agree on that.
The situation is now an issue, and they weren't expecting. And left guard Absner is projected to start as not practicing yet. Yeah, I mentioned that they're missing an offensive line starter. Quarterback situation is a big problem. They got Minchie and Carr still going back at it. The early reports coming out of their camp is that Minchie's kind of running away with that job. He was a former blue chip recruit, but the guy's only thrown. I think he's only played in 2 or 3 games up to this point. He's never started a game. and he's only thrown 3 or 4 passes to this point in his career. So it's like you're going to go into that environment in Hard Rock Stadium. Like I've said before, whether it's Carr, who most people thought this offseason, or if it's going to be Minchie, like what's trending now.
All right.
I don't see one of Notre Dame's quarterbacks being the reason why Miami would lose that game. Miami would have to lose that game simply by just Notre Dame's receivers make plays in open space, like making yak, or just Jeremiah Love just happens to just run all over Miami's defense. I'll put it at this. I think if Jeremiah Love goes beyond 150 or 160 yards in that range, Miami lost that game.
If he's the only one that does anything, though, we may not. It all depends how good our offense is. 150 yards, you can pick up 70 or an 80 in one drive. Yeah, but I agree. They got to stop the run. They have to stop the run. They have to stop the big receivers. Turnovers. I mean, heck, we lost the Texas A&M game a few years back because we dropped the punt. Didn't we drop the punt? We lost another game because we lost the Notre Dame game a few years back because we dropped the pass, a couple of passes in the end zone. I mean, there's always something that costs us. There's another time we had a punt issue. I think it was against Florida or someone else. So
I was there. The Jeff Thomas play. I was in Orlando.
That's right. The Jeff Thomas.
We can sit here and predict about Love and their quarterback, but let's say we have a possession early in the game at our own 20-23, we fumble, and they get the ball right there. There's all the pre-talk that we're doing. There, it's 7-0 Notre Dame, just like that. So
but you know what? We got to hope it doesn't come down. That's why one score does not, if it comes down to one score, you can't to blame anybody because of one play. Tyreek Stevenson had that fumble, right? Was it against Texas A&M? Or was it not Texas A&M a few years ago? Or was it? Yeah. And when you have that one, and we had a bad play also against Joe Burrow's team, the team we just said, Louis, LSU, we had a bad play against them. Was that a punt return also? There was a bad play in that game. So if one play knocks you out of the game, it's tough anyway. You need to, like we did Notre Dame or Florida last year, 41-17. We need to take it to them. I believe the Canes can blow them out because the crowd is going to be a difference. They're not giving us any credit for the home crowd.
Well, Brett, let me phrase this for you. So it's funny how eerily similar the headlines are going into this game like that 2017 game. Because 2017, I remember they were saying the running back was one of the best in the country, and then he's going to run all over Miami's defense, and he's going to take them to the woodshed out back and this and that. They had really no quarterback at the time. Like I think the guy was Ian Book. If anyone remembers Ian Book, he ended up getting knocked out of the game. Miami's defensive line was too much for him. They knocked him out of the game. And then the second guy came in and he didn't do so hot either. Notre Dame still has an issue. They don't have a quarterback yet. I think that plays a really big factor. They're talking about their running back like he's just gonna catch all the passes and he's gonna throw every pass and he's gonna run. He's gonna do all 3 phases on offense.
No, you saw this week. I think the Notre Dame. I'm sure. I've been thinking the game was going to go under the whole time, but the game dropped 4 points. That's a lot, from 54.5 to 50 in 3 days. Because
so it was 54. Okay, I said it wrong.
4 points. No, it dropped 54.5. I looked at it today.
I said 57 earlier.
Yes, so I think Mando reported it on X. I think I knew somebody. That's why I thought it was Ezekiel, but it was
not that I would ever look at the odds or anything.
Exactly.
Right, Brett? 54 and a half.
That's something we care about.
Yeah, 4 points. 1 or 2 here and there is one thing, but 4-point drop, that's a lot of points.
Was it because of the quarterback situation?
Well, either that or a lot of money's coming in on the under. I think I've been saying for weeks the game's going under. So a lot of people are taking the under. That could be pushing it lower also. But Notre Dame's flip-flopping of quarterbacks, like Gio's point, that's another big factor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, we are what people are thinking we're better than we were last year, right? I mean, I know we don't have Cam Ward. I know we're missing Restrepo. Really, who else are we missing from last year's team?
George, Arroyo. Let's see. Rivers, but that's pretty much a wash because Markel Bell is.
I could tell you Borregales.
Borregales is the key.
Borregales, yes.
Andy is the key, I think. You're right. But, I mean, I think our receivers, I spring it up because Restrepo had a certain skill set that was there, all right? Mm-hmm. But I think we have, I think we filled the gaps with all these players. I mean, our running backs are back. We don't have Damian Martinez, but he didn't do anything in that Gator game anyway, pretty much. He really was.
I'm sorry, Brett. Mario was on this week on the radio, and he said himself, we finally have the depth, period.
That's what they definitely have. This is the deepest team they've had since Mario.
He said it. It's the deepest team.
The biggest team they've had since Mario's been here. It's the deepest team we've had probably since 2001, 2002.
I do think they have the depth. Just one position still concerns me, like I said earlier. Defense.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Oh, he said it. He said it.
Defensive tackle.
They may run through us all game long.
If an injury or two happens there, I get really concerned. I'm not saying that there's guys that can't step up and give some level of serviceable play, but I just don't think the floor has been raised enough there yet. Some of those young guys are going to have to step up at some point, or like I've mentioned over and over again, Bain, Mesidor, Blunt, Lowe, all those guys, they're going to have to give you some reps inside at different points, because I just don't see them getting by a whole season staying fresh with what they have depth-wise at defensive tackle. I just don't.
I mean, who do we have? I mean, obviously we got Justin Scott in there. Who else? Who would you count as the
Justin Scott and Moten are your likely starters,
correct?
Yes, and then David Blake gets a lot of first-team reps, so he's basically he'll get like starter quality snaps, and then after that you got Dante Simpson, even Dalen Russell competing with Dante Simpson too, but Dante Simpson is your likely fourth guy there. And then you throw in the factor I mentioned of Bain, Mesidor, Blunt, and Lowe playing inside all those guys at like in packages and whatnot. You know, they're not 300-pound guys. All those guys are roughly averaging 255 to 270.
So we're worried they're going to. I mean, the Notre Dame is going to take from the middle. They're going to go ahead and blow open holes on us.
Well, let me ask you this, because I read an article. It was a pretty good article, actually, talking about our new defensive coordinator's career at James Madison and Rutgers and out here, et cetera, Minnesota. He's of the school of theory of, I put the best 11 guys out there, period. And he likes, like, if the safety goes down, if he feels there's a linebacker that can play there, he'll put that guy there. So do you see?
You know what's funny? You mentioned that.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too deep into it, but there's some specific packages on pass downs. One in particular, like a dime package, the way they use a couple body types that we have at like on the defensive backs, some guys like Damari Brown or Keontae Scott. I don't want to talk about like the alignment and how they do it, but it's really interesting. So what he's saying, it's not just fluff. It's very real. Even like with Cam Pruitt as well. There's some specific Lightfoot as well. There's some specific guys, they have certain traits that they could play at different spots.
I mean, we saw what we were last year on defense. I don't got to repeat it, but this is a guy that 2 years ago, Minnesota yards per play was 94th in the country. He goes there last year, they're 12th in yards per play. I mean, that's not a 5 or 10 spot leap. That's an 80 spot yards per play. So this guy is definitely a difference maker. So I'm really anxious to see how the defense
But I don't think he had the same type of talent at Minnesota.
Yeah.
You know, people will go back to, they'll say, oh, but Lance Guidry, you know, he had a really nice defense at Marshall. You're talking about Marshall.
But they weren't dominating defense.
Heatherman has been coaching, has cut his teeth through the big team, actual power for and like Minnesota and Rutgers, they've had good defenses. Greg Schiano, he comes from the Greg Schiano tree. Just a news flash for people. I'm not saying that Miami's going to win it all this year, but the last time Miami won a national championship, Greg Schiano was the defensive no, was he the defense? No, he was not the defensive coordinator, but he was going to be until he ended up leaving and whatnot.
He was in 2000, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was 2000, and then he was actually supposed to. A lot of people were like pioneering for him to be the next head coach at Miami. He took the Rutgers job. Who knows what would have happened if he was
exactly. He had that attitude, definitely that edge to him for sure.
Yeah, but everybody I've talked to and heard and watched all the time, the coordinator is different. So I'm very excited to see what.
Yeah, but I mean, hopefully he is. I mean, when did Lance Guidry fall apart? Because his defense was good the year before.
Well, I think a lot of it falls down to didn't have the players to make up for certain lapses, especially at safety. You had a guy who was a career nickel playing the safety position last year in Mish Powell. Like, no offense to the kid, but you saw it even towards the end of the year. They realized they're like, no, he's a nickel. We can't play him out in open space. It's like short, quick area that they had to keep him in terms of the nickel. So I think you saw that. Jaden Harris just is a really nice kid, but he just was clearly not Miami caliber. Like it was clear as day watching it. Like you don't have to be a football guru to know that Jaden Harris was not very good for Miami. He was really bad, actually. And that's unfortunate to say. It's a college kid or whatever. But these guys are all adults now. They're getting paid. You know what? This is like
you're right. The whole different world when they're getting paid, but they're not. But you're right. You don't want to beat up on a kid too bad, even though it didn't stop most fans when they're 18, 19, 20. Hey, they beat them up in high school for that matter. But that being said, you're right. At least they're getting paid now. So it's and a lot of them join social media. It's a bloodbath out there, unfortunately, for players. The guy has a bad game, and it's never forgotten. I mean, Mark Harley dropped a couple of passes. Nobody, every time he threw the ball to him, they were upset.
I just think it boils down to those defensive backs. It was really bad last year. And Guidry didn't help himself either with the way he was scheming certain things. There's ways around it to, I mean, not to make it perfect, but help in some ways. And he just didn't do that. It was just stubborn in that aspect. And then, people bring up the pass rush from last year. I think Miami had a good pass rush. You can even look it up statistically. They were good. But people say, oh, that back half of the year. Well, that back half of the year, teams figured out Miami's defense and said, they have no defensive backs. They don't have guys that could come up and make tackles. So we're going to dink and dunk them, just short, quick passes, quick 2-3 step drops. And that was it. And you can't get home on a quarterback when teams are literally designing plays just to dump it off very quickly. You can't. No
doubt about it. So it's just if you look back, even the Georgia Tech game, was that on the guys? Was that on Guidry's the way he had it set up?
Well,
I'm not thinking last year, 2 years ago, when we blew that game.
Well, I think it falls on Guidry because you knew that they were going to run at you, and he just I call it alignment and assignment football. And mind you, I'll say this. I don't want to make the proclamation that, for sure Miami's defense is going to be better. I think it will be because it can't get any worse than it was last year. But from a communication standpoint, it's definitely improved a lot. And I'm speaking from people that have seen this up close and personally. I see the emphasis even when I've been there on campus, when they've had open media events, just what they're emphasizing to the defensive backs and the linebackers. Jacoby Thomas is one of the most vocal guys on the teams. He's getting on everyone, like good or bad, is just super vocal guy. I think he's gonna become a fan favorite of people. Actually, I think people are really gonna like Jacoby Thomas and just the veteran leadership he brings to the table. Him and Keontae Scott in particular. But I do think the defense will be better. I don't see how they can be worse. And I think just getting all those defensive backs is going to make a difference. And the body types at linebacker have completely changed. Like the linebackers and DBs overall, they're just bigger. They're bigger and faster.
Ruben returns to his form of 2 years ago, his freshman year. They're much better just from that alone. His last year, he was a shell of himself, even after he got back after the injury.
He was playing very heavy last year. He admitted it that he had something lingering from
injuries. Injuries killer. He's the first, like you said about he's healthy right now. Like you said about Mark Fletcher, they're healthy. They happen to be the fours. Welcome to the show, Duck. Duck is here. Duck is everywhere. Welcome, Juan Manuel. Did you answer this one yet, Gio? Who are the vertical threat receivers who can go 60 yards on a go route this year?
On a go route, I'd say guys like Joshua Moore, that particularly. JoJo Trader can do that too. I'd say even, Malachi can too. I think Ray Joseph is a big-time yak type of guy. Keelan Marion as well. So I'd say those guys in particular, I would highlight that are really capable of doing that. But some other questions here. Juan Manuel shares here. Can you talk about the safety room, and does Damari Brown start nickel to cover Greathouse out of the slot? I think the likely starter at the slot, it's going to be Keontae Scott. He's had a really good camp, physical guy, pretty consistent, a great communicator too. He's also a guy that's not too prideful. I know there's been certain scenarios in camp where, some of the younger guys are trying to show him some things and whatnot, and he doesn't really brush them off. He's very open to it. So I think that's great, just overall communication with the defensive backs rather than pointing fingers. They're talking. I mean, if you watched it last year, you saw them pointing everywhere as motions and shifts were going on, and it just seemed like no one really knew what was going on. But yeah, I'd say that. And about the safety room, I mentioned before the stuff about Jacoby Thomas and Zachariah Poyser, and specifically Bryce Fitzgerald, who Juan Manuel asked the question here too, is Bryce Fitzgerald an OJ Frederick type impact talent? I think it's going to be tough, at least early on in the season, for him to be something like that. OJ kind of fell into a great situation where Miami just didn't have a bunch of corners. They had deficiency there last year, and it was even evident from last year in spring. And I don't know why it wasn't addressed going into the fall and whatnot, but that's a whole other story. I could see him really shining in the back half of the year as he starts to get more reps. I will say this in terms of range, like coverage ability, he really stands out in that aspect. And since the pads have come on, a lot of people had questions about him coming in. Is he going to be a corner? Is he going to be a safety because of some things of physicality in high school? He's answered the bell in terms of that question early on. So I think the pointer is trending up with him. Mm-hmm. He's going to be in that rotation. How much of an impact he has, we'll see, because they have veteran guys like Poyser and Thomas that are going to play a lot, but he will play at some point. I think he's a guy that if it's not this year that he makes a big impact, I think it's going to be next year.
What is happening with JoJo Trader? Did you mention that before?
Yeah.
Concerns on his injuries?
I can't go too far into detail. Just
okay.
The only thing I could say is that it was mentioned to me that it shouldn't affect him for going into the season. But again, we'll see, because I've heard scenarios like that before, and sometimes it plays out true. Sometimes miss a couple games.
Mm-hmm. All right. Mando showing off those guns. You got a lot of fans. Hassan said if he had them, he would show them off too, Mando. So thanks for joining us. And let's face it, we know why the reason Mando was late. He was pumping iron before the show, Gio. I thought it was just a rumor, but I think that's what it was. Girls are happening.
You see, I tell you guys that I'm putting the kids to bed, but I'm actually doing push-ups by the pool.
Exactly. We've all been there before a date or something like that.
He's got to be prepared and pumped up before you get.
I remember those college days. She's coming over. You got to start working out.
Yeah, the wife's like, you better jump on. The show's going to end. I'm like, baby, 10 more.
So Lou from Dade says here, evening, gents. Thank you, Lou, for stopping by. Snap Mikey. Jordan Brand for the Canes would be elite. I agree. I would love the Jordan Brand for the Canes, but they're very happy with Adidas, like I mentioned. So, if that opportunity presents itself and the compensation makes sense, we'll see. But
did I read right that Tennessee joined Adidas today?
Yes.
Yeah, they went back to Adidas.
Okay. Adidas rep said it was a secret. I thought it was out like a few weeks ago. He said, yes, nobody knows yet. I said, everybody knows. But he said, it's not official because, that's right. They had to show off this year Nike jerseys before they made the announcement. That was it. A lot of high-tech things.
Mick Ray shares here, how is Jordan Lyle doing? Very good. Consistent. Gets through the hole quickly and to the second level. He's gotten most of the reps for the ones throughout camp as well. So he's going to play a lot this year. He is. I like him. Bigger, and I was told from someone who did watch the scrimmage, I can't go too far into detail, but he mentioned to me that he does seem to appear to be better than he was last year, as crazy as that sounds. Cleveland Kane reposted the stream. Thank you, Cleveland Kane. Papa Cool mentions here, will Chance Robinson get rotation? Chance Robinson's actually had a nice few practices in camp so far. I will say this. I think just the emergence of Joshua Moore, and if he continues on the trajectory that he's on right now, and just like where Chance Robinson plays, it's going to be a tough one because Moore could really help out Miami like right now. And Carson Beck really has an affinity right now with Joshua Moore. They're both on the same page. Carson Beck loves bigger receivers too, which is why you see guys like Joshua Moore and CJ Daniels doing really well. Mm-hmm. So I do think Chance Robinson is going to play this year at some point, one way or another. I'm not sure right now how much. But then again, we still have another scrimmage that remains. So
Joshua Moore is obviously unheard. Notre Dame probably knows about him, but they may not really know about him.
There's no game tape on him.
There's no game tape. We've got closed practices now, so not even the media can see it. So a guy like that starts off, maybe he doesn't play the first series. He comes in as the third or fourth receiver on a drive. They've got specific plays for him that Notre Dame doesn't know about. How much of a shock factor can he be on Notre Dame at the beginning of the game before they realize who he is?
Well, I think guys like him and Malachi Toney could surprise them. There's, like I said, no game tape on those guys. They're true freshmen. The only game tape you can go off of is high school, and college teams don't really look at it in terms of game plan. So, again, once you get a few games under your belt, it's a bit different. Teams start game planning for you and whatnot, running simulation and with scout team with third players on their roster to kind of simulate those game situations. But I think he's going to play game one. If as long as like no injury or he doesn't hit like a freshman wall or anything, it doesn't appear like that. He's getting better as camp goes on. He's definitely going to play.
Can he play like Amon? He's not Amon, but can he have that kind of a year? I mean, Amon was a freshman when he had that amazing year. Amon was obviously higher touted.
I think if Miami didn't have a guy like CJ Daniels, I think Joshua Moore probably could have started this year.
Wow.
CJ Daniels is really good and consistent, catches the ball very well, really good route runner and whatnot. But just, I think if Miami didn't get a guy like CJ Daniels, I think, that Joshua Moore probably would have started. Like, that's how good he has been.
So where is he on the depth chart right now?
Would be right behind CJ Daniels as the X receiver. And then, the competition at slot, all those guys are still going back at it. Ray and Malachi. Ray had a really nice start to camp. Malachi's really come on strong the past week. Tony Johnson's had some moments too, but I declare that at least early feedback on what's going on there, that it's mostly a battle between Ray and Malachi, and they both have made their cases to potentially start. I'd say if you had to lean towards recent stuff, like especially pads on, Malachi Toney is really you
called him at the beginning of the season that he wasn't your average. He was 16 at the beginning. He's going to be 17 this season, the whole 17, season. Right?
Yeah.
So would you Riley Williams 2.0?
I don't know if I want to go that far. Well, they both kind of play different positions. So like Ryan Williams, he plays like a lot of Z, can play some slot. Malachi Toney plays a lot of slot. The coaches have talked about it, potentially Malachi playing some Z receiver if needed, but right now that's not the case. They got quite a log jam at the Z. Even
Ryan Williams a little faster, isn't he, than Malachi?
Yeah, but I think Malachi's more of a savvy route runner than him. Just the way he's able to create separation. Ryan Williams is like a freak athlete, though. Like in terms of how fast and agile he is, it's incredible.
The way he moves his body to get those balls, contortionist, totally, and stay in bounds. And things like that.
Especially with the uncertainty with the injury to Trader, like you mentioned. Would you say Lofton is still going to be the go-to, like, targets leader? Because several people keep saying he's the best guy in the team, the most impressive guy for weeks.
I'll be honest. Don't hold me to this because I want to see what the feedback is after this week is over. But
9:48, August 13th. Go ahead.
Don't hold me to this, but I think if I had to make an early prediction, not a set in stone prediction, but just based on the feedback I've gotten, I think CJ Daniels will be the leader. I think like a mix between like CJ Daniels and Elijah Lofton. I wouldn't be surprised if Alex Bowman's really high up there in terms of touchdowns. He's big time red zone target. But I think between those two, I mentioned Daniels and Lofton, and then you can make a case for Toney because again, slot receiver in Dawson's offense is a really key component. But
sure,
even if he does win that starting job, I think that's a competition that goes on throughout the season with him and Ray because Ray can really do some things when you give him some space to work with and he gets the ball in his hands. He can make guys miss. Ray has improved a lot compared to last year. He's much more consistent.
That's awesome. Because he was on the punt returns last year. It was punt return or kickoff returns?
Punt return, yeah.
Yeah, and but he didn't get too much time playing in the field, I don't think, though.
Yeah. Lewis Jones shares here, where does Brantley fit in at DB, and will he be in the rotation? So Brantley is battling at the nickel spot. I know they've cross-trained him a bit as well. He's played out on the boundary a bit too. He will play. He'll be in that rotation, but I think the starter at nickel is going to be Keontae Scott, and then Brantley you'll probably see being used situationally, like obvious passing downs and whatnot, because they kind of want that +1 in the run game from the slot, at least the slot DB that, you know, they can help out in terms of run fits because you're taking a linebacker off the field. You have 2 on the field when you have a nickel package. So Mullet Run, Duck is here, everybody. Thank you, Duck, for stopping by. Hassan said, Mando always showing this. Yeah, so we talked about that.
Brett mentioned Bain's name earlier, and Mario earlier this week said that Mesidor and Bain are playing the best ball they've been playing since they've been at the University of Miami. Yeah. So I know people sleep on Mesidor. He was hurt last year, wasn't he?
Yes.
I mean, so
you remember? Yeah. You remember the first season that Mario was here, and how good Mesidor was that year?
Yeah.
He had the injury at the end of the season. He's down to his playing weight from back then. Yeah. And the following year, you know, he tried to run it, and then he got like a setback. I think it was within the first 2 games, I believe. Yeah, it was the Texas A&M game. I saw it happen right in front of me. He got piled up on, and it wasn't pretty. And then he sat out the rest of the year. Last year, you know, they tried potentially moving him to defensive tackle because he had put on so much weight and size, but you could tell that even when you saw him play there, it wasn't exactly the right fit for him being a full-time D tackle. And by the end of the year, he was playing out on the edge again. So he's in that same shape he was his first year at Miami. And I'm sure people remember how good he was, especially against the run. He was really stood out in terms of that aspect. And then, again, Ruben Bain, I don't have to say much about that. He's got his weight more down in check. He's been healthy as a whistle throughout the offseason. No nick-ups or anything. He's been in phenomenal shape and health overall. And, him and Francis Mauigoa in particular really go at it at practice. Sometimes Bain getting the better of him and Mauigoa getting the better of him. But, the talk of camp really, offensive line-wise, Markel Bell, though. Markel Bell has been, wow.
Yeah.
Haven't heard you say anything about Malik Bryant.
Yeah, so he's in that rotation of the defensive ends as well. Just the 2 guys in particular that are really surging right now is Blunt and Marquise Lightfoot. But again, still another scrimmage to go.
So our defensive ends are stacked.
Our defensive ends are what?
Are stacked. I mean, we're 3 deep.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. Playable, viable guys that could actually go in there and play real snaps this year. Bain, Mesidor, Lightfoot, Blunt, Lowe, Bryant, even Cole McConaughey could help them a bit too. Booker Pickett as like a speed rusher type, he can help. Basically, it was kind of between him and Marquise Lightfoot and Elias Rudolph all competing in spring. Like Jason Taylor was trying to see which one of those guys would step up, and it was Marquise Lightfoot that really broke through. But Booker Pickett's got a lot of ability as a particularly just as a pass rusher. He still has to continue putting on size, getting better against the run, but he could play too if they needed him. And then you got Herbert Scroggins right after that, who's still a little raw right now, but they're excited about what he could be down the line.
Mm-hmm. We're stacked. All right. Jacoby says, media day, Kevin Beard said, you get your popcorn ready. That should tell you all what you need to know. I assume he's talking about his wide receivers. So hopefully Gio has predicted him to be coach of the year, basically. He says whenever Kevin Beard is here, something good happens to the offense. Juan Manuel Gio talk about the secondary difference between 2024 and 2025. Christopher. All right.
The question.
I don't even. I wonder what it is. I have no idea.
The question he asked, though, I had answered it earlier.
Oh, you did get that one earlier? Okay, so it's no worries. Let's see what else you got there that we didn't get to.
I hate football podcast evening, fellas. Hey, thank you for stopping by again, man.
He was on the show with us. Great guy.
Oh, he's great. He's really, really.
He is great on his show.
He knows his stuff.
Yes, great job.
Manuel says, Gio, do you think Cam Pruitt will spy on Jeremiah Love? I don't think it would be Pruitt in particular, but Pruitt's going to play in some packages this year in particular, more than last year. And the reason why I say that is just position versatility, and probably covers the best of any of the linebackers on this team. He's still putting on size and getting bigger as a linebacker overall, but he definitely brings some upside as a package guy this year.
I mean, we've seen some of the tweets and videos, and obviously he's got a history with our new DC. I'm not going to lie, I didn't dissect Rutgers football last season, but Teray, what are we like? How we know he's good, obviously, but how good can this guy be in this defense with Miami? Like he looks the part. This guy doesn't look like no trainer. He looks like a monster.
He can be very, very good.
He looks serious, man. Like body wise,
he looks like a cyborg. He's like a Terminator. Like you've seen. Have you seen that guy's biceps or just overall his physique? Like
somebody posted him without a shirt online. I was like, "Yo, that's a college
even though
like, what?"
Even though I think his play is a bit different from this one particular guy. Do any of you remember that linebacker Miami had in the early 2000s? Well, no, I should say late 2000s because his career wrapped up around then. You remember Tavares Gooden?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great guy.
At least physically, like physique-wise, that's who Mohamed Toure reminds me of. Looks identical to that.
Tavares Gooden was a beast, absolutely.
Yeah.
Gooden made it to the NFL and whatnot, but I think Toure has even more ability than he did, which is.
And he's 100% healed, correct? He had an Achilles issue. What was his injury?
No, it was a knee, his left knee. Okay. But all good. He's been wearing a brace in practice, but hasn't really messed with any of his mobility. He's actually gotten better as camp has gone on.
Yeah, that video of him, what was he on the volleyball court or something like that when he did it in the sand? That video.
Yeah, that's the one.
He was a beast. What Trey Hendricks is over under is like 95.5. RN? What does that say?
Lou said here, Pete Nako said a close source to Shannon Dawson said he thinks he has another number one pick in Carson Beck. Hey, it wouldn't be surprising to me if it wouldn't be surprising to me at all if he felt that way, and I'll say why. Most people thought Carson Beck going into last year was going to be the number one pick or the first quarterback taken.
Just goes what people say here all the time. Cam Ward. Cam Ward made the Canes. Well, how do you know the Canes didn't make Cam Ward in a way? Because he was not even in the top 10 to be the number one pick. He was 16-1 because I was all over it. And Beck and Quinn Ewers were supposed to go higher, and so were other players. So it was a great marriage between Cam Ward and, of course, and the Miami Hurricanes. And hopefully we can get our second in a row. Maybe, I don't know about number one pick, but that'd be kind of awesome. What do you got there?
Orange and Green says here, listening from Alaska. Thank you.
Welcome from Alaska. Thank you, Orange and Green.
Yeah, so many people have told me that you got to do an Alaska cruise. Everybody's told me that. Like,
everybody says it. We'll have to have the CanesWear Podcast on the Alaskan cruise. We'll be live 7 days. We'll be live at the buffet.
Oh.
Hassan said here, Notre Dame running is good, but Miami running backs are not shabby. Yep. George Blanco. Wow, Cuban in me almost came out. Jorge Blanco. Do you feel we will be more improved on special teams? I think in terms of kickoffs, I could see that. Carter Davis has a boot for a leg. He's had a ton of touchbacks throughout his career. Kicking wise, I think it's very hard to replace Andy Borregales. Kickers. That family is. Do they have another brother? Do they have a cousin? Do they have someone of relation still remaining?
That was so strange this weekend. I don't know if you saw the Patriots opener, the preseason game. Obviously, they returned the opening kickoff. The kid, the running back, was, but the Patriots got 2 kickers. I didn't know that. They had another guy that kicked a 57-yarder, and I was like, "What is this?"
What?
So I don't know if he's in a kicker battle, but I mean that was strange to me. I hope.
I do know in practice the other week with the Patriots, Andy got one through that was like beyond 60 yards.
Don't worry, I'm dying over here. Hands up. How about that 70-yard field goal? I heard somebody say they're looking forward to 80s. Can you imagine that? They got the ball at the 25-yard line. They go 4 and out, and they kick a field goal. 3 and out, they kick a field goal.
Kickers are getting more and more talented.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I think, Brett, if we get to that point that kickers are booting 80-yard field goals, if it ever reaches that point, I think they may have to make some rule changes.
Yes, totally. I mean, but it's hard to believe, an 80-yard field goal, you miss and the team's got first and goal, basically. But yeah, these guys are just kicking it. I mean, will we ever see an 80-yarder, a 90-yarder? I mean, I know there was a 63-yarder in the 60s with Tom Dempsey, the early 70s, so it's not like 70 is that much further, but it's like breaking the 4-minute mile. Once you do it, they hit 70 now. Now I expect to see guys hitting 72 and 75. Because 70 was unheard of. Juan Manuel, great point. If one play should not beat a good team, and we've talked about the one play should not beat a good team. Even if it happens the first play, the last play, it should not beat a good team. We need to hammer teams and not worry about one score. Like last year's team was good, but we could have lost Virginia Tech easily on that last play of the game. A couple other games were late at the game. You can't have those. If you're, teams do have, but the year Clemson won the national championship, I think they pretty much blew out everybody. The year LSU, they were dynamite that year. Even though the Canes in 2001, we had a couple of close battles. I think the 2000 team only had the one close battle, and that was Washington. Yeah. The game we lost. Besides that, we blew out everybody. 1988's team, the year that lost to Notre Dame, Cleveland Gary didn't fumble. That was the only game that was close. We blew out everybody.
Everybody else.
We gave up less than 10 points like 5 times. Our defense was phenomenal.
Cleveland Gary definitely did not fumble.
Gary did not fumble, but Jimmy Johnson said at that time, you're going to play in touchdown Jesus. You can't let it come down in one play. Yep. Even with that, the final game, we scored a touchdown and we went for 2. If we kick the extra point, we're going to probably go to play in the national title game. So we went for 2 and missed it. But if he kicks the extra point and ties it, Jimmy Johnson, we have the same amount of losses as Notre Dame, and we're in the national title probably against them. So I don't know if who they played, West Virginia, Notre Dame that year in the championship.
I believe so, but I mean, as far as this year's team, I mean, not to sound like a fan, but it's right there for you. I think 6 out of the first 8 games are at home.
Correct.
I mean, we know Clemson's the favorite to win the conference. You don't play them in the regular season.
Miami doesn't leave the state of Florida.
You don't leave the state till November. I mean, you can laugh when I say
we have 3 games out of Florida. You're right. I mean, 8 home games is unheard of.
Regular season, you don't play Clemson. You can laugh all you like, but GT and UNC have given us problems the last couple of years. We don't play them.
Mm-hmm.
You play Louisville. That should be a good game on a Friday night at home. That'll be a hyped-up crowd.
Yes.
At SMU might decide who plays Clemson. We'll see. That'll be a good game. I'm going to repeat what I've said the last few weeks when I've been able to get on. To me, there's no excuses. Unless barring a significant injury to the quarterback, God forbid, that flips everything, because then we have a different discussion, obviously. If they stay healthy, anything less than being in Charlotte, to me, is a flat-out failure. Period. Speaking as a fan, speaking as somebody that comes on here, it is what it is. It's a failure if they don't get to Charlotte, in my opinion.
You're saying 10 wins is not enough. 11 is
I don't care if it's 3 or 333 wins. Anything less than playing for the ACC title, to me, is a disaster, in my opinion. With this roster and this schedule, is a disaster.
So this schedule is easier than last year's.
I'm not saying it's easier or not, but You just said it yourself. We don't leave Florida until November.
Exactly. And then we went to Florida last year, and I think we were underdog in that game. We've got Notre Dame and Florida coming to us this year.
Yeah, we're an underdog. We're an underdog week 1, but we're playing at home in a standalone game on Sunday night on Labor Day weekend.
Exactly. It is going to be.
Let's go
and against a freshman. Who's the other quarterback? Is he what year is he? There's two quarterbacks.
He is a redshirt sophomore, Minchie.
So he's had a little more experience. What do we know about him?
Well, I mentioned it earlier. Actually, he's only played in about like 3 games to this point. So I think he's only thrown like 3 or 4 passes. Is why I looked this up last week. I was like, wow. So there's not a whole bunch of experience there at quarterback for them. It's a complete unknown.
Yeah. No, and nobody's talking about Hassan. Good point. Notre Dame running game is good, but the Miami running game, nobody's talking about the running game.
No,
I mean, we have a 3-headed monster.
I think it's on our offense. If we jump out to a 10-0, 13-0, 14-0 lead, now they're like, oh, damn, we got to throw the ball. Now you're going up against a crowd. Now you're going up against a pass rush because they know you got to throw the ball. I think it's on our offense. Yeah, they got to start running back. I get it. But, if we shit the bed early on offense, then we got a ball game there. But
is this guy? Did you put him in the category with an Ashton Genty?
Not Ashton Genty, but
no.
Jeremiah Love is really talented, though.
Yeah, I just think that people are sleeping on Carson Beck. I mean, it's just recency injury, bad.
Look at his stats last year. They give the LSU guy he's the greatest thing in the world, but you look at their stats; are almost identical last year.
I saw several full LSU games. Have you ever ridden a roller coaster? Watching Nussmeier back an entire game, he can look like Marino on one play, and the next play he's like Daniel Jones. It's crazy. He's fun though. He's fun to watch. But man, that guy's he's a roller coaster for real.
Absolutely.
Greg shares here. What about the freshman at defense tackle 55? Talking about Micah Newton, still has to put on weight. Probably not going to play much this year. The way things are shaking out there. I Hate Football Podcast. I mentioned about Artavius Jones earlier, that situation. Duck said, run the ball, stop the run. Yeah. Duck also said Greg Schiano is a flathead.
That's Duck's quote. Ducky loves saying that.
Yeah, if you can run the ball and just run. We talked about it last year. Just run the ball. I don't care. And if Beck throws 10 times and we run for 3, it's first of all, just win. But I think Mario is definitely going to go heavy with the run game this year. I think it'll be evenly flat, but I think the run game is going to get a lot of attention, which is good.
Sure.
Duck also said, I get over losses in 24 hours. Yeah. I'll put it to you this way. Ever since working the media, let's see, it's 8 years going on 9 now, covering this team. It used to affect me when I was younger. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, when Miami loses, I'm over it by the next day. I think the only one that I really lost composure about recently, that I just went on a total rant. It probably had to be that Georgia Tech game. It was just infuriating.
That was infuriating. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. People, you bring up Ohio State, and I appreciate. We hate. We hate. But it's like, it's like, okay, I'm over that already. I mean, I know it would have been another national championship. Frankly, as Canes fans, we count it as a national championship anyway. But you know what? I hate them because okay. Let's move on a little bit. We haven't played them. We don't play them. And you know what? We lost to the refs, not Ohio State. So hopefully we don't have another game that's that close. We should have blown them out that game.
Juan Manuel says, Gio, one thing that hasn't been talked about is that is compounding QB and experience issues is the quarterback doesn't know what kind of defense Miami will run. What he studies on film in 2024 is not what he will see. Yeah, but that's true to an extent. I'm sure Notre Dame is preparing their guys in terms of watching film of Minnesota.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There's James Madison, just certain concepts that Heatherman was running throughout his stops. It doesn't mean it's always a 1-for-1. Sometimes coaches change things up based on the personnel that they have. I know Corey Heatherman is one of those type of coaches that he likes to play towards his strengths. He has some different type of skill sets on this roster that he hasn't had at other stops. So I think that's the interesting factor there. But Robert Bryson says here, it looks like JoJo is just going to be one of those slight kind of guys that is always dinged up. That sucks. Yeah, I mean, it's still very early on in his career right now. We have to see. I mean, like we said earlier, go back to Elijah Arroyo, whole bunch of injuries, and then all it took was 1 year. Or Chase Smith now, he's had a string of injuries, and now he's actually going to be a guy on this team that's going to help this year. Yeah. Juan Manuel, likewise, witness Ash Notre Dame will be trying to implement some. Okay. 5 rings. Is Chase Smith showing any improvement? Is he healthy now? Yeah, I've been talking about Chase Smith quite a bit throughout fall camp. Trey Kendrick. So what do you think the starting secondary looks like game 1? Starters. Interesting. So the secondary. I think you'll see at corner. I think you'll see Xavier Lucas and OJ Frederick. But there's going to be a level of rotation there where guys like Ethan O'Connor and Damari Brown will come in at some points, give those guys a little bit of a breather here and there. I think your nickel will be Keontae Scott, and Charles Brantley will come in, give him a breather at times, or just come in situationally on obvious passing downs. And then your safeties, that'll be Zachariah Poyser and Jacoby Thomas. I think Jacoby Thomas has made a really strong case that he could help this team this year. I mean, everyone knew what Zachariah Poyser would bring to the table, but Jacoby Thomas is I think he's one of those stock-up guys throughout camp so far.
All right, Gio, question about have they taught Bryce Fitzgerald how to tackle?
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier.
Yes. Charles, who's that? Charles Jaguasha?
Charles Jagashaw going to Mr. Miami. That's the offensive lineman from Notre Dame that got injured this offseason. It was an off-the-field incident. He's not expected to play in the game against Miami, so we'll see if that changes, but the expectation is that he's going to miss some time. Hassan said, Gio, with Conrad Hussey leaving Florida State, do you think Miami goes after him? I know they wanted him before he picked FSU. Yeah. I don't think Miami goes in that direction right now, and the reason why I say that is they really like the progress of Dylan Day. He's really stepped up in terms of his coverage and things that he's been capable of doing throughout the offseason. He's going to be in that rotation at safety. Bryce Fitzgerald has flashed a lot since he's gotten on campus. Even since pads have come on, that he's answered the bell too. So that I know they like some things from Amari Wallace as well. The way I look at it is, if Miami can't land one of their top 2 guys at safety going forward, coming here into the fall and game day visits like Justice Fitzpatrick or Devin Jackson, if they can't get one of those guys, or however it shakes out, if they can't get what they truly want at that safety spot, maybe they might entertain it. The only concern I have there with Conrad Hussey is, he had a really nice freshman year with Florida State. They were expecting him to take another step last year, and he kind of regressed with them last season. I know there's a lot of familiarity and relationships there. Like I know Hussey got a great relationship with Jason Taylor. Jason Taylor used to be the defensive coordinator at St. Thomas. He coached Hussey for a bit. He's familiar with guys like Ryan Mack as well. And I know there's one other guy, Jordan Lyons, very familiar with those guys on the roster. But again, it's still way too early to say. Transfer portal is not even open yet. So we'll see as time goes on. Juan Manuel said, was Joshua Moore and Malachi Tony sent from heaven? Yeah. I think you can make that. You can make some level of a case of that. Again, I know people get really excited about what they're doing. I still hold I reserve judgment entirely until we get to game day. Things are great in practice and scrimmages, but what's it going to be like when the lights are on? When guys are running 100 miles per hour and smacking people across the field?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As far as the opener. We've talked about our defense. Now, what about their defense? I know they're stacked in the secondary, but today I think they presented Al Golden with the Broyles Award for top assistant. He's no longer the Notre Dame DC. So I know Freeman, you don't got to sell me on him. He's legit. The head coach, stud. We know he's a stud. I've hated Notre Dame for decades, but I'll give props where it's due. The guy's legit. Now, their DC and all that, what are they or what are you expecting from them this opener, probably this season? Because Notre Dame's, regardless if we play them or not, they're favorite to make the playoff this year. They're a top 5, 8 team or whatever you want to call them. What are they looking like overall? I know their secondary is very good. What are they looking like on defense this season?
Notre Dame?
Yes.
So they have really good linebackers. Their defensive line, I know people have brought up that they've lost quite a few guys. I will mention they had injuries last year up front, and those second stringers who are now some of their starters this year, they actually played really well in big games. So I think those two things really stand out. They lost their best player in the second. Well, you can make a case between maybe he was best or second best. They lost Xavier Watts, one of their safeties. They bring back both of the corners. They bring back 2 of their 3 corners. Benjamin Morrison's gone now. But what's this kid's name again? Was it Leonard Moore? He was like a freshman All-American last year. Very similar guy to like OJ, who's really good cornerback last year. They also have oh man, I was reading a story about this kid today. I thought it was really interesting. I forget his name now, but it's the other cornerback they have. Christian Gray. He had lost his parents when he was young, and then his grandparents had raised him. And then before he
I've seen that. Yeah.
Before he got to Notre Dame, he lost his grandparents too. Like it's crazy. I know people say like, we got to hate Notre Dame, but I think stories like that are interesting. That's a kid I actually for.
Yeah, I think I saw it as well.
I think they got some guys at corner. They have some pretty good linebackers, particularly, and the defensive line. We'll see. Some of those guys, they played some key snaps last year. I think mostly, like I've been saying all offseason, I think it's going to be a real test for Miami's receivers in this game. I think you're gonna get a real good idea of how good this receivers group is or is not. Well, I think we're going to find out really early on.
Yep.
Let's see here. I'll go for that. Yes, he's like the Miami Mando. Oh, Adrian Rainy Day said Miami Mando looking slim.
Miami Mando has a fan club. He's got the guns. He's got looking slim. Those push-ups are working.
I told my cousin to save that for the end of the show, so I don't hold off 15 minutes next time, my brother. But thank you.
Don't worry, there's more coming, Mando. There's more coming. The Mando fan club is this.
You know why I do this, right? Because it's football season. I'll probably gain 30 pounds by December. So.
Exactly. There you go.
Carlos Montilla from X shares. Who do you think will start at linebacker? Mohamed Touré, Wesley Bissaint. Those are your 2 starting linebackers.
Adrian asks, what's the most exciting thing about the season for you all? Mando, what are you most excited to see this year?
Oh, besides the obvious of football. I mean, we tweet, we talk. I'm cool with you. I consider you guys friends of mine. This is my team since I was 7. So that's what I'm excited for. I mean, I can talk about the Eagles in the NFL. I can talk about this and that. And other than family, this is what I know. I mean, for those of you that don't know, I was with my late grandfather selling programs in the Orange Bowl when I was 7 years old. So
Mando,
what are you
most excited about the Canes this year?
Oh, this year? Yeah, I went off on a tangent, didn't I? Real quick, I mean, going to the game. I love going to the games. My 5-year-old daughter is already telling me what she's gonna wear, what she's gonna.
Awesome.
Now, as far as the team, I'm gonna reiterate it. This is not year 1. It's not year 2. 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big Mario backer, Mirabal, all of them. But it's now, right? It's right now. We got in 27, 28, 26, 2030. This roster's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying we're going to win the Natty. I'm not saying we're going to win the Natty this year, but I'm excited to see how far they go. I'm excited to see that. I think Damian Lewis is a great. I talked about enough. I think Heatherman's going to be outstanding, and I think it's a playoff season. I'm excited overall for just the whole thing in general, but I think this is going to be a very big season. I think last season we should have got there, but I think this season somebody made an interesting point to me. Some of you guys might be too young. Remember when Tennessee won a title with T. Martin at quarterback, I think it was?
Mm-hmm.
The year before, they had Peyton Manning.
Exactly. Good point.
They thought that year was going to be the year. Well, the next year they beat FSU, I think, in the national championship, right? Yeah. This kind of has a little vibe like maybe the year after, something like that. So
that's happened before. That's not the first time. You're right. T. Martin won it. Peyton Manning did not. Great point. Great point. What about you, Gio? What's the most exciting thing about the season that you think?
Just want to see if they can get it done. Win an ACC championship. I know we all talk about playoff and whatnot. I think it'd be great if Miami gets there, but you got to get the monkey off your back. You got to win. You got to win the ACC.
Exactly. I just think if we have not a good season, a great season, and Mario comes through. The thing I want to see most is Mario improve as a day-to-day game coach. And if we can do that, everybody's crying about recruiting. But if we win, if we can actually win, get to the playoffs, win a playoff game, not even win it all, but maybe some way get from the top 2 tiers, as Gio always says, we're a tier 2 team. Maybe we can get to tier 1. Look, I want to see if Beck can be, if I know Beck is in the draft and in the top 5 picks, we had a great year. All right. So I want to see that, but I want to see us take that next step. So we're no longer a tier 2 team. We're no longer a team, people that say, oh, we've never won an ACC championship. We've only won one bowl game in 20 years. I mean, I want to say, hey, we did something. We went further than we've gone in a long, long time. That's what I'm excited about.
Well, I think the biggest thing too is, can this be the first team that could win beyond 10 games back to back? Because that hasn't happened. That hasn't happened since the 2003 team. It's a long time.
You're right. In 2017, we won the 10 in a row, and we were never the same.
Yeah.
So that faded fast. It seemed like we beat Notre Dame. We were going over the threshold. Al Golden beat Ohio State. We looked like we were going to be the team to advance, but we weren't. Look how many times Ohio State's been in the championship since then. Yep. All right, moving along, we'll answer these questions quickly.
Jose Santos shares here. Gio, tell us about the kicking game. How is it looking? So it's been a very much full-on competition between Carter Davis and Bert Auburn. We've talked over and over again about Auburn and the mental aspect of the kicking game, how great his 2023 season was, set a Texas record. Then last year, not so great towards the end of the season. A lot of Texas fans kind of turned on him. Even Danny Coulter for the Miami Hurricanes, who coaches a lot of the special teams aspects with the team along with other coaches, has highlighted it that, how much they believe that kicking is very much a mental game and that they feel that they can get Bert Auburn right. I will say this. I know early on in camp, it was very back and forth between those two. Auburn kind of has the leg up on the competition right now. I will say one thing, though. This is based on the feedback that I'm getting. Don't be surprised if Carter Davis is used situationally on field goals, like anything that's beyond 50 yards. That kid really has a boot of a leg. Some accuracy things that, inside the 50 that kind of struggles with. But for some reason, he's really good from deep.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've heard of rotating quarterbacks. How do you feel about that? Rotating kickers?
I think that's fine. Auburn has shown, too, throughout his career that he does struggle beyond the 52. So it's not something that's like too surprising. He may not be as good as Andy Borregales, but I still think he's a pretty good college kicker. I mean, to set a Texas record, how many great players they've had go through that program, I think is impressive in itself. Most points scored in one single season. I think it'll be fine. It's not, I wouldn't say it's too much of like a rotation. It's more so situationally, like I said, like if it's like a kick beyond 50, like it's a deep field goal, they'll probably defer to Carter Davis. But for the most part, Bert Auburn will be your kicker.
So after hearing that, so the next question would have to obviously be, who's handling kickoffs? Because if you're telling me that Auburn doesn't have a leg, that could result in.
Davis is going to probably be the kickoff guy, I would assume.
That'll be
Davis.
Carter. That'll be Carter Davis.
Because I would think so.
He actually really excelled at that during his time with FAU.
Yeah, he could blast.
Actually, and how I mentioned that, like about Davis being used situationally as like the field goal kicker. they kind of did the same thing with him at FAU, so it's not too surprising.
Mm-hmm. No, I remember him, and he played locally here at in Davie, and also at in high school, and he had quite the leg always, for sure. Yes, Juan Manuel, we need more shows twice a week. We're definitely working on that. When is the next scrimmage, Gio, by Jacoby?
Next scrimmage is this weekend.
This weekend. All right, great.
They'll have a practice tomorrow night, which will be Thursday. I know they'll probably have a practice Friday, Saturday. You'll look at something like walkthroughs, and then scrimmage day on Sunday. And then after that, it begins game prep.
But there's no more scrimmages open to the public, right?
No.
Okay. That's what we thought. Mullet's asked, is Toure better than Nate Webster? What's your opinion on that?
I think a little bit different as players. I think Webster was a really great downhill guy, just super physical. And Toure is physical too. I think, how would I put this? I think Webster played the run better, but Toure is the better pass rusher of the two.
All right. Yes, Blue, thank you. Buy your F the Luck shirts from CanesWear. We've got them in orange and green. It's a really cool shirt. It's a cool shirt. Check it out. We have it on the site, F the Luck, or just read what he says, since I'm not going to say the words. We also have the Catholics First Convicts in orange coming out next week as well. Lots of other cool things, but that shirt is really cool from Smack Apparel. It's got the shamrock right where in the F word, and then it's got the luck. Really cool shirt. So yeah, we got lots of new stuff coming in. We've got a lot of great stuff. It's getting that time. Got a couple of Mitchell and Ness hats coming in this week. A bunch of Adidas stuff coming. Sean Taylor, Ed Reed jerseys. We just restocked on them. We have number one. We have the number one premier jerseys in orange and white. I think we have the new jerseys coming. It's amazing how many great things are happening.
Yeah, Brett, when the question came up, what are you most looking forward to this season? I'm surprised you weren't like Johnny Manziel, like making money at the store, baby. Come on.
That's just yeah. I'm just like, if the team does well, we'll do pretty well. It's just about serving our great fans, Mando. Staying in business in this great in this world, and going ahead and just serving our fantastic fans. Let's see, Sean Strong, what does the kicking situation look like? We've talked about that, but we have not had to worry about clutch kitching.
I love this comment right here from Paulie, because we're catching up on the comments here.
Get his granddad.
They're talking about, when I was talking about Borregales earlier, he said to get his granddad. Hey, look, if he's around somewhere, he's got some eligibility.
Exactly.
It might be something genetic, because both of the brothers were great.
Oh, they were amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Beach Bum, welcome to the show. Who is someone that no one is talking about this season that will have a big-time contributor? Well, it's an excellent question, but we obviously don't even know who his name is because he's going to pop out that nobody's talking about him. But
I'll put it this way. I brought this up before, that Samson Okunlola is in a battle for the left guard position. Even if he doesn't win that battle over Matthew McCoy, that they're still going back and forth there, he's going to play this year. And I think he's someone that has been slept on. People have been asking nonstop, when's Samson going to hit the field? When's he going to do this? When's he going to do that? He's on track right now on the right trajectory. Like he has been getting better. He's improved a lot from last year. And I think people forget too, his true freshman season was cut short. He played a couple of games, got hurt, missed most of the spring, even that following year. And aside from that, last year he's had NFL guys in front of him too. People forget this, like Jalen Rivers, Francis Mauanoa. Who else can I throw in there? Hold on. Jalen Rivers, Francis Mauanoa, and even at the guard position before that, Javion Cohen went to the NFL too. I feel like I'm forgetting someone here. Markel Bell. Markel Bell's going to go to the NFL. I'm telling people right now, he's going to go to the NFL.
He's 6'8", we said, right?
What happened?
Markel Bell, 6'8", with a 7'2" wingspan. Is that him?
6'8", almost 6'9", with a 7'2" wingspan. He's just a freak show.
And we're hoping
that the biggest thing is
if he can catch, then we know we got something that nobody knows about.
He's made a massive leap from when he first got here last spring to now. It's just, and even last season, you saw like he progressively got better as the games went on. So Markel Bell is going to.
I think nobody's talking about Fletcher. I mean, nobody really. They talk about the receivers, the tight ends. You know, Fletcher is, when he came out as a freshman, I thought he was going to the next superstar back. Like you said, it's his first time he's been healthy in his 3 years here. He's the best shape he's ever been in. I know we've got a three-headed monster running back, but I think if Fletcher stays healthy, he's going to be a beast this year.
I don't know why. I've mentioned it before, but I think on our, not Toure, but our other starting linebacker, nobody's talking about him.
Correct. Nobody's
been here 4 years. I mean, if you want to say, I wouldn't say underachieved, but maybe there were more loftier expectations. But I could see him having a really good season this season.
Maybe now with that together this year.
What's that?
He might put it all together this year. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't have the pressure being that main guy there in the middle, and I could see him really surprising people this season.
Well, let's hope so. Yeah, the linebackers would be awesome, and Poyser. I mean, now people are talking about him, but no one's. We haven't had a great safety in a long time. Can he be our next great? I mean, we I shouldn't say that. We had Kitchens and James a couple of years ago, but. I mean, can Zach Poyser be every bit that good? Can he be one of our great safeties? He's pretty special. You never know what kind of year he can have. Can we have a guy that's going to be intercepting? I think Kitchens did intercept a lot of balls, right?
Yeah.
It really just hit home what Gio said. After this Sunday, it's game prep. Man, we're here, guys. It's game is in 2 weeks. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Canes Cats is going to be at the practice tomorrow. What should you look out for?
Hold on a second. Wait, I'm going to get to his question right now because we're right here at the end. In Plattsburgh in mid-November is going to be tough. Yeah, you're right, Sean Strong. Marsh, Thomas, good work, boys. Thank you, Marsh. Thank you for stopping by.
Marshall matters. There you go.
Yeah, Kawiche, I agree, Mando. Is DJ Lagway hurt again? There's a cover-up at Florida. There's an issue with Lagway. Napier doesn't want to be known. He will be exposed when they play LSU. I think they lose to LSU. You ask me, in my opinion. I'm not buying the Florida hype, but that's just me. I also don't understand the Lagway hype either. I didn't see anything from
I think he's good, but is he all world like you're saying?
I think he has a ton of potential, but
they make him look like a star, Beck look like chopped liver.
There's some people out there in the media that have literally have thrown out thoughts of they could potentially be a national title team. Mm-hmm. I think that's crazy to say coming off the year they had last year. They've kind of finished strong and whatnot, mostly because of their defense. Mm-hmm. I didn't see anything from Lagway last year as a passer that tells me that, oh yeah, for sure, he's going to take that next big step, because I heard the same thing about Cade Klubnik for multiple years. And then finally, last year, towards the end of the year, then he really started hitting a stride 3 years in. Who knows if Lagway is going to hit that at this point? I think he could be great. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's a scrub or anything. Just potential is a scary word to say, because I've seen it happen with players at Miami before that, we expect them to do something big and then it doesn't actually happen that year. It happens a year or 2 years later.
Yeah, I mean, if he's good, he will have earned it, because their schedule is, if you haven't taken a look at it,
everybody wants to go to the SEC. We want to be in the SEC. We want to be in the SEC, but the schedules are
not just that. They play us. It's ruthless. It's a heck of a schedule.
Oh, by the way, we got. Let's see here. So Don CM Leon. Yeah, Don is big time Hurricanes fan out in Texas. I've known him for many years now.
Oh, Don. Yeah.
My brothers, Gio and Mando, always great seeing you. Thank you for stopping by, Don.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
We had a Notre Dame fan who came in here, Benjamin Weiss. He said, can't wait to show down with you guys. It's going to be incredible. Go Irish.
All right.
Hey, we got Notre Dame fans coming into the show now.
Yeah, we got exactly. Kabish says the offensive line should control the line of scrimmage, and then we got them. I agree. I mean, this offensive line, could die. we thought it was going to dominate a couple of years ago, and we got those transfers. We got the kid from UCF and all, but this should be our best offense line ever, I believe, Mando. I mean, Gio.
And I think you have a great point on that. Nez Cooper has started. It's going on 4 years now. Francis Mauanoa coming on his third year. James Brockermeyer's played a lot of college football. Matthew McCoy got a bunch of starting reps under his belt last year. Samson Okunlola, former 5-star recruit. He's starting to hit his stride now in a competition with McCoy. Markel Bell started a bunch of games last year. When I think about someone who can explode as an NFL prospect this season on this roster, first name that comes to mind is Markel Bell because of the traits and physical attributes. And he's got enough good teams on the schedule where if he puts up great performances, his stock is going to skyrocket. Teams will be salivating to get their hands on a lineman like that.
Whoever has a great game that first game also, since it's basically it's national TV, the only game, the whole year, that's all they're going to talk about that guy. So you have a chance to prove yourself fast right out of the box.
Here, 5 rings, punt and kickoff returns. Who's flashing there? So guys working at punt return, at least the 2 main ones so far to this point that's been shared with me. Keontae Scott and Malachi Toney. Ray Joseph's gotten some work there too, some other guys, but mainly it's been Scott and Toney. And kickoff returns, as expected, Keelan Marion. But another guy that may surprise people that I talked about earlier that, I'm not sure how much he's going to play this year, but he's flashed as a receiver in practice too. Dalen Upshaw has been getting a lot of reps in terms of kickoff returns. So I know Jordan Lyles competing there, Gerard Pringle, other guys, but Upshaw is an early name to kind of hide under the cap right now and think about potentially being one of those guys out there.
Hassan with a great point. Mando, nice shirt. Did you get that at CanesWear? Yes. I want one if it makes my guns look big like Mando. So we may be coming out with the Mando line. You wear this medium and you look like Mando. It's going to be look like Mando.
I do wear size large, but if we want to do it a medium, we could do that. That's fine.
Mando, we have you in for a signing. You sign everybody's shirt, and you said it'll just be like Mando. Instead of be like Mike, be like Mando. Let me talk to Adrian and see if we can get that shirt made, okay?
I'm no Touré, though. I saw that guy this week. I'm like, I'm not even in that guy's league. Like, Jesus Christ.
Be like Mando.
So Benjamin Weiss shares here. For what it's worth, us Notre Dame fans see the QB battle as a positive, not negative. I don't know. QB battles this late in the year is kind of concerning, but I'll hear you out. CJ Carr is a pretty known commodity. Yes, you are right in the aspect of coming out of high school. I remember when he played for California Power, played with a bunch of guys that Miami recruited or kids that went elsewhere like DJ Pickett. What's this? The young guy now that's coming up, Vance Spafford. Cannon Pickett, all those guys played for California Power. So I got to see CJ Carr quite a bit coming out of high school as a pretty known commodity. The question is, can Minchie push him enough to give him a run for his money? The thing is, the buzz coming out of Notre Dame's camp is that Minchie's actually ahead of Carr right now, and Carr is kind of still nursing an injury and whatnot. So we'll see. It's still kind of early, though. I know you guys still got time in your camp as well, so still plenty that could happen with still a scrimmage to go. Kyler Wren, Miami Canes shares, go Canes. Yes, go Canes. Canes Cats Heat from the comment earlier. I'll be at practice tomorrow. What should I look out for? All right, what you should look out for. Watch the linebacker play against running backs and how the run fits are. I think that in particular, how competitive the receivers are with the defensive backs. A lot of the feedback that I've gotten is, yes, the receivers make plays at times, but the defensive backs, they're not making it easy on them either. It's a lot of contested catch situations too. So I would point out those, and the battle at left guard between Samson Okunlola and Matthew McCoy. I've heard a lot of good things about Samson over the past week.
Awesome. Good. All it takes is one good year. Gio, I've heard that before. What other comments we got to close it out? Let's see.
Don shares here, Pancake is an elite athlete, but he played against poor competition in high school. Yeah, he was out in Massachusetts. Someone had mentioned that to me when he was coming out of high school. I even thought when he was coming out of high school because I saw him and Francis together. It was for the Florida State game that year that Miami got blown out in. But that infamous 2023 class, that first true class of Mario, I thought Francis looked phenomenal physically. I think it was kind of obvious that he was a guy that would play right away. But with Pancake back then, great lower base, you could tell that he still needed to build his upper body as an offensive lineman. And that's really transformed over time. He looks very different physically than how he did coming out of high school. Some offensive linemen are like that. They're very bottom heavy, and they have to build up top. Juan Manuel says, let's bring nuns in. Oh, my God. Canes Jones reposted this stream. Canes Jones, thank you for always supporting. He's always mentions it, and I saw a post of it the other day. He's got like his, I think it was like 3 or 4 of his absolute favorite go-tos that he goes for Canes Media, and he had thrown my name in there. Thank you for the support as always.
Nice.
Jorge Blanco, JoJo needs to put more weight on to handle the stress of the collegiate game. He actually did put on weight this offseason. He's much bigger than last year. Juan Manuel says, why can't Markel Bell come back next year to solidify himself as a first-round pick or even top 10 pick? Who is advising these kids? They're making money. So here's the thing. Technically, he can come back from what I was told because of the new JUCO ruling that they did with Diego Pavia and a couple other guys. There was a receiver as well that went to Oregon that they gave his approval as well. So Bell could have another year if he wants to. I just think with the games that are on the schedule, the teams Miami's going to play, and then if they go deep into the postseason, I think he could have enough tape where he can skyrocket as a prospect. Sometimes it takes just 1 year for guys. Maybe sometimes guys need multiple, but he already has some tape from last year. If he shows big strides from last year to this year, the size and how he plays against key matchups, he could seriously skyrocket really fast. There's not many 6'9", 340, 350-pound guys walking around that can move and pass protect like he can.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Let's see. What else you got there? Gio, name one. Read that.
Who are your game one starting wide receivers from Equipped Bible? If the season started today, CJ Daniels at the X, Malachi Tony at the slot, but still ongoing competition there between him and Ray Ray. And at the Z, I would say JoJo if he's healthy. If he's not, I'd go with Keelan Marion.
Mm-hmm.
Or, look, I won't rule it out. I mean, I know CJ Daniels is capable of playing other positions. I'll go one outside the box. And I know this is not fair to say 2 types, but Josh Moore, and then you move over CJ Daniels to the Z for until JoJo gets back off the mend, however it works out.
Good move. Timothy, will we get our own stadium again? No. I know a lot of people want to play in La Orange, but the tailgating at this stadium, Hard Rock, Joe Robbie, whatever you want to call it, is the best tailgating we've ever had. We're playing in a Super Bowl stadium. The national championship game is here this year, right? So you're not going to have that. So this is a top line stadium, and it's great for the home crowd, as we saw in the Notre Dame game in 2017. And I'm going to predict right now that the quarterback will not be able to hear the signals, the plays for whoever it is at Notre Dame. So I don't think we're getting any other stadium, but I, for one, am quite happy with this one. What's your feeling, guys?
Yeah, so I agree. But I do think if there's ever an outside shot, I know Miami has a long-term contract with Hard Rock and the owner, Stephen Ross. But the outside shot is, I think, if you see the Marlins leave or whatever the case may be, because that's always a discussion that comes.
Yes.
If that ever happens, the people have been talking about that for 10 years now. But if there was ever an outside shot of the location of where the Marlins Stadium is, to go back there again, where the OB was. But again, that's still a very much outside shot right now as it stands.
It's still the tailgating issue. Everyone's used to tailgating. You can tailgate there, but it's not the same. Walking around, because there's no big lot. And, that team in the 80s would have won championships in the stadium. So it wasn't the stadium. But I agree. A lot of people want to stay. Maybe the soccer stadium. I don't know. Is that possible where they're building that? I think they offered the Hurricanes that, but they didn't want to go there.
I know there was some discussions behind the scenes about that. Just ultimately, what came into play there too is with air traffic control too, and the capacity of the stadium.
Okay,
just wouldn't have worked out for what Miami would be looking to be accommodated by.
All right. They're going to be building a lot more, I guess, food places and everything around the stadium. Finally, I think around the Marlins Stadium. I don't know if they're talking about it also around the Dolphins Stadium. How can Lagway get better without practicing? Well,
Juan Manuel's got a great point when he says that, because I'll be honest, Carson Beck early on in camp, him and the receivers had some timing issues. It's improved as camp has went along. That is a good point that he's bringing up. If you're not working with your guys and you're out off to the side, chemistry does play a factor with quarterbacks and receivers, and just timing and getting everything down pat.
Gio, did you see the recruiting list for the recruits coming to this game? Very impressive from Hassan.
Yes, I had heard about it. There's going to be more. I am waiting for – usually we get more of an official list, and then sometimes we get even updates on top of that, probably the week before the game or the week of. I'll have like a massive list of it and anyone else who's potentially coming. But, yeah, they're planning big time for the Notre Dame game and the Florida game in September. Big-time visitors that they want to bring on campus, guys that are committed elsewhere, guys that are top of the line for the next upcoming 2 classes as well. It's going to be fun times. It's prime opportunities for them to sway some minds, but also leave a great impression on what could potentially be the future.
Last year, Florida had all these recruits came in, and they were the Hurricanes were talking to them after the game.
Yeah.
Which was that's what happens when you win 41-17. I heard some people on X talk about why do they still keep talking about the 41-17 game? Why not? I mean, it just happened last year. It's not like we're talking about our 5 national championships.
Oh, if UF would have won by that score, they'd probably go on for 10 years. The fans, are you kidding me? Come on.
Exactly. How's the new secondary clicking with the new scheme, Corey?
I mentioned earlier the communication has improved. One of the best communicators on the entire defense is Jacoby Thomas. He's always getting on guys, getting on top of them about doing things wrong or doing things right and whatnot. Very vocal guy. Another guy in particular that stands out in that aspect, OJ Frederick as well. Very, very vocal guy on that defense from what I've been told. And just overall, it's a better group. They're giving the receivers much more of a challenge in practice and the scrimmages, and they're much bigger too. Just the size differences. It's a really stark contrast from the group that they had last year. I mean, last year, you kind of had OJ and the guys. Now you got OJ, Lucas, Damari Brown, healthy now, like super healthy. He's made a couple of pretty good plays over the last few days. Ethan O'Connor, Charles Brantley, Keontae Scott. Some of these guys have played like real big-time college football games and have actually produced at a high level. Zachariah Poyser was a freshman All-American last year too, just like OJ Frederick. Jacoby Thomas has played a lot of games himself, so they are much better. And then you add into that, you get a guy like Bryce Fitzgerald, or before I even get to Bryce Fitzgerald, Dylan Day has really stepped up from last year, improved a lot in terms of coverage, really stands out in that aspect. But Bryce Fitzgerald in particular, it's been described to me as the range that he plays with is incredible. Has a knack for finding the ball too. So he's in a great situation where you don't have to rush him to be out there and be a starter right away. I mean, unless an injury happens or whatever, then he can come in and he can help you. But you don't have a situation like last year where OJ had to play out of necessity. Like they had to throw him into the fire. You don't have that case this year. You have actual veteran guys that have played real college games and started and have played at a high level. So yes, it has translated in practice, and I hope it translates to game day because it would help out Miami's defense by miles and miles.
You mentioned the recruits visiting. Miami's not giving up without a fight on Derek Cooper, are they?
No, that's always been the plan. They're not going to give up on that one. They're still going to go after James Johnson. They're still trying to battle for Tristan Keys, but I've mentioned this over the last month now. I've done it over on the private board on my Discord. I've said it on shows with Amon as well, that I just, there was a lot of buzz about Tennessee and Miami. I was really wary about that. Like, why do both of those schools feel really good about that? I mentioned before that LSU, they've kind of felt a little better about their standing and potentially keeping him. I think, and I've said multiple times, I think Tennessee is that exact program to watch. If Keys were to flip, it would be them. I don't see it being Miami right now. They're still going to pursue Calvin Russell. They're still going after Jason Lopez. They're going after Devin Jackson still, Justice Fitzpatrick, CJ Hester. They're looking at some linebackers as well. So just a lot of things still very much in play. I know they still have interest in one guy that they went down to the wire for, in Bryce Perry-Wright. I know there's still interest there too. So again, you hope it plays out well. Miami, they were able to flip a couple guys at the end of last year, just not many, and they lost some guys too. But you hope that they close out the season strong this year, along with those showings for these kids when they come for a Florida game and Notre Dame and any other game later on in the year. You hope they close strong enough that the impression holds long term. 4 months till signing day.
Wow. Yeah. There's always something coming. My dad always used to say, it's all about anticipation. It's just when you're looking forward to things in life, it makes it a lot better. Gold Jacket Soccer Stadium is too small. I'm glad to hear that, because I don't want them leaving our stadium. Nothing to do with its proximity to the store. Gio, do you think the Canes defense can slow down Love and the rest of their backs? Do you think the 2025 defense can eliminate big chunk runs? Since 2024 defense gave up too many of the big chunk yards?
It's all gonna come down to the linebackers hitting the right gaps, and can they get there and plug them up? The other thing is the play up front from the defensive tackles. Can Justin Scott take that next step? He's been really good past week, but is he going to take that next step? They believe so. Jason Taylor thinks so, that he's going to be a big-time guy this year. Ahmad Moten is having a really good camp too. But I think stop is really hard to say. I don't think necessarily they're going to be able to stop Jeremiah Love. Can they contain him to an extent? Yeah, I think that's possible with what they've added. But we just got to see it in action.
Hassan, Miami will be fine with the NIL. With Bezos and Dana White now going to Miami, a lot of big.
Dana White admitted he's a big Hurricane fan now.
He was on McAfee, right, talking about it. He's a Hurricane fan now. His son went to Notre Dame, but he's rooting for the Hurricanes, so that's awesome.
Well said here. Ryan Rodriguez no longer practicing a guard. You mentioned Pancake. Yeah, Ryan Rodriguez has mostly been the backup center throughout camp. He's potentially the guy next year at center. He's more of his natural position. It's what he played a lot of in high school.
Good point by Raymond here. 80-yard field goals need to be worth more than 3 points. Yeah, that is a good point. It's going to be like the new like basketball. A lot of those long plays. Any of those last questions that you want?
You had mentioned Dana White. Is that what you were talking about, Brett, a few moments ago?
Dana White. Dana
White.
I
don't know if it's true. Somebody said a couple of days ago that his daughter's going to UM. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Or
he's talking about he's a Miami fan now. So
yeah, I saw that.
I think his son or someone to Notre Dame, but it's his daughter, or is it? She's
something like that.
There's yeah. So but he was on McAfee saying so hey, well, and he just signed that $9 billion deal with Paramount Plus. We all should be so lucky. But can you imagine all that money if if these people really support Miami sports? This would be awesome.
Hey, everyone's gravitating around Miami. The president's granddaughter goes.
Yeah, hey, you might as well have us being a high profile program.
Bezos with Miami, Dana White now. Hey, the U's a national brand. It really is. But last question I'll mention here for the night, and we'll hop off here. Juan Manuel said, tell us what Miami has in Jacoby Thomas. What is the book on him? Did Tennessee misuse him? I don't think it's necessarily that Tennessee misused. Well, actually, no. No, yeah, you can say that because the way Tennessee used them, they were trying to just put him in the box a lot and whatnot. He's really athletic and physical, and like I've been saying for the last 2 weeks coming out of camp, and things I've seen and things that have been told to me coming out of the private portions, there's much more there to him as a cover guy than initially thought. And I think what comes into play is how Tennessee used him. I think even Amon brought this up really well. Amon said it best that, you only know so much about a guy's skill set based on how he's used and employed. Like, are you playing to his strengths? Are you using him in every best way possible? So I'll say this. He had a really, really, really nice pick last weekend, pick 6. And the way that he baited the quarterback into that, and the way it was described to me too, sounds like a guy that's played a lot of college football in his career. And well, I think Miami gets some retribution here too. He was on that Middle Tennessee State team.
Oh my God!
Yeah. We didn't do so well with the other Middle Tennessee. Didn't we have another Middle Tennessee guy last year?
Yeah, they had Marley Cook last year, but he
was injured
throughout the year.
Yeah, so, all right. I guess we're done with any other last things here. Let's say
Mario deserved more heat than he did for the 24 secondary personnel. There was DBs available in both portal windows and didn't bring any guy that went, and didn't bring in the guy that went to Indiana. You're talking about D'Angelo Pons, yeah. I think they probably should have went after him a little more aggressively, especially being a local guy. He could have made a difference for that secondary. I don't think he would have been the entire answer though. They really needed help at safety, and that was evident even dating back to the spring. I don't understand why it wasn't ever addressed. Yes, that falls on the coach to address that, but it's a new year now. I say we all have to turn that page and see what's done this year.
Yes, Juan Manuel is making a request on the CanesWear Podcast. If Bezos and White can go ahead and donate to the Juan Manuel Fund. Idea. You will be right there in line with Mando, Brett, and Gio looking for the donation.
Juan Manuel from those two gets 50,000 for every question.
There you go. Mando, tell everybody where to find you.
Well, you can find me here weekly in my size small shirt, right?
There you go. Post it out.
No, man. When I can jump on, because obviously we talked about in the beginning of the show, tomorrow school starts. So I got 5-year-old twins, a 13-year-old son. So they may or may not have been coming in here to mess with me as I'm talking with you guys, but I'm always on the timeline at Lakers Canes 305. Always Gio talking to you off here, and appreciate both of you as always for even having me on here. Thank you.
The Mando train just keeps on rolling. I mean, he's getting bigger and bigger. It's between your muscles and your head. We don't know. It's.
Bro, I've got this hat to the last possible button. I got the biggest head on her.
There you go. We're gonna come up with the new Mando line. Be like Mando.
No, but seriously, we made it, man. We got through. It's mid-August. We're here. That's it. It's football season. We're here already. So
football season, baby. The exciting
time.
Gio, where do they find you?
Everyone can find me on X at Gio Million. You can also find me on our weekly show between me and Amon Richards, Who Wants Smoke. We'll be live again this week. Plenty of stuff to discuss. Miami's got a scrimmage coming up this weekend. They got practice again tomorrow. It's a great, fun time of the year. You can also find me on Comics on Canes. I make regular appearances with Michael Yo. We're doing an event August 29th at the Fort Lauderdale Comedy Improv in Dania. I'll be there. Alex Dono will also be joining us as well. It's going to be a big-time event. A lot of people coming out there. And you can find me sometimes on Locked On Canes, too. I make appearances there, or sometimes WQAM. And, yeah. You could also find me on here on the CanesWear Podcast with Brett and Mando. And make sure to shop for all your Miami Hurricanes needs at CanesWear, Miami Fanwear, located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. And it's not just Canes gear out there. It's Florida Panthers, Miami Heat, Miami Dolphins, and the Miami Marlins, or I still call them the Florida Marlins, but that's
Florida Marlins, exactly. Well, awesome. Well, thank you for everyone for joining us. Remember, like and subscribe. The FTSN Network. Bobby and team do a fantastic job. Lots of programming. You'll find me at CanesWear. I'll be there a lot more because the season is gearing up. And Mando, what do we say? Are you geared up? Yeah.
Are you geared up? No, but seriously, thank you to everybody for the questions and chiming in. Much appreciated. So thank you.
Thank you for the chiming in. We really do appreciate it. Best audience in town. Lots of good stuff at CanesWear. Gio mentioned we do have signings. We have Sergei Bobrovsky coming in, signing on the 21st. Tickets available are online, CanesWear.com. Lots of other really cool things happening. We're really excited about this season. So thank you, everybody, again for joining. Thank you, Bobby, for putting this together. Thank you, Gio and Mando, for being the best. And we will see you soon. Go Canes!
Go Canes, baby.